Stop it! Don't open that door!
I am the one who knocks. Holy mother of God!
The 90s. Such a lovely time. A time of change. A time where new things were created. It was like 100 years ago. The music industry experienced many new genres and subgenres. The Simpsons were still kind of new and good. Some idiots were complaining about violence in video games and thinking it would turn children into psychotic killers. At least that's what I've heard. I don't know. I still didn't exist in the early 90s. First-person shooters were still developing. Doom's Daddy, Wolfenstein 3D came out and... well, it doesn't really hold up today, but it's really important in gaming history. And of course you get to kill Hitler. What more do you need?
Eva, auf Wiedersehen.
But just like the term first-person shooter wasn't invented yet, the same could be said about the term survival horror, because Resident Evil wasn't created yet. And just like Wolfenstein was the prototype for Doom, there was a game that would become the prototype for Resident Evil. A game that also, like Wolfenstein, doesn't really hold up very well today, but was instrumental for the gaming industry. And that game is... Together in the Light. Alone in the Dark. No, not that one.
I'm the light bringer. I'm the fucking universe!
Oh boy. We'll get there soon enough. But not today. Today, we're talking about the original. The classic. Alone in the Dark from 1992. It's not a train wreck like the one from 2008, but... you'll see. The remake for Alone in the Dark is coming out soon. It was supposed to be out already, but they decided to delay it to January of next year. And like in the Resident Evil remakes, the developers seem to take the original concept and make their own story. We'll see how faithful it is to the original. And also like in the Resident Evil remakes, we will play this game from a third-person perspective instead of a fixed camera. I'm actually really excited about it, because one of the writers for this game is the dude that wrote the stories for the first Amnesia and Soma, which has one of the best stories ever told. It looks really good. So I thought that this would be a perfect time to go back and play the original that started it all, especially because I never actually played this game. I tried playing it like more than a decade ago, but I thought that this game was weird, and I dropped it. You'll see what I mean. I did have a physical copy of the fourth game, which I also didn't finish. Yep, still have it. We'll get to this one too, eventually. So there was this company called Infogrames, and one employee asked, "Hey, you know about Resident Evil?" To which another employee replied, "No, I don't. Because it's 1992, it wasn't created yet." So they decided to create it themselves, but instead of fighting zombies, you fight Cthulhu's minions. Stop showing up in my videos, Cthulhu. According to Wikipedia, this game was initially supposed to play out much differently. You'd have to use matches to gain snapshot views of a completely dark environment, which is basically what you do in Fatal Frame, but with a camera. A game that would come out 9 years later. Frederick Reynal, a programmer at Infogrames, was a really big horror fan, so he was like, "Yo, I'll be the lead designer and I'll make all of your fancy 3D animations." Supposedly he met his wife while they both worked on the game, which is a really wholesome story that you don't expect to hear as part of a survival horror game. Also, I just quickly wanted to say thanks for all the support on my previous video. It got like 10,000 views and it's still growing, which is massive for me. I read your comments and I really appreciate all of the kind messages. It means a lot. Even the one about my accent. I almost started blushing. Okay, let's get back to Alone in the Dark. I'm going to compare this game to Resident Evil for obvious reasons. so you will be hearing the words Resident Evil a lot. But before we can even talk about the story and the gameplay, we have to make some tweaks, because when you first start the game, it looks like this. Not exactly ideal. Thankfully, it's easy to fix, and there are many guides on how to do it. You go to the folder, open this file, go here, change the resolution according to your screen, save the file, and boom! Just like in Resident Evil, I told you I would be saying that a lot, we need to choose between two characters, Edward Carnby or Emily Hartwood. I'm going to pick the man, because I am a manly man myself, so I can't choose a female. I'm kidding. I just like his mustache. They both need to go into a spooky mansion, but they have different reasons for going there. The first thing you'll notice after you start the game is the voice acting. There's barely any voice acting, but what's in here is actually really good.
On my door, a dull brass plate says Private Detective. The few friends I have call me Carnby. The others call me the Reptile.
It also sounds way better than anything else at the time, at least from what I know. Voice acting in video games wasn't the best.
That's right. This is the ultimate life form. Tyrant! Chris? Stop it!
This is the inside of a police station.
The laser controls and my notes are on the science level, and the override code's in the science library. I have no idea how you're gonna do all this, but good luck.
Oh boy! I'm so hungry, I could eat an Octorok! Ouch!
Anyway, there was this guy, Jeremy Hartwood, who died in his own mansion. Emily wants to investigate what happened, because he was her uncle, and she probably cared for him. But Edward is a shady private investigator, who just does it for the money. Typical man, am I right? He was sent to this mansion to find a piano.
What I was asked to do was visit a property called Derceto and find a piano in the loft. Luckily, devil worship makes me smile, so this is my idea of a paid vacation.
The first thing you'll notice is obviously the graphics. Yeah, I don't think they hold up really well. Controversial hot take, but these graphics are not good by today's standards. But back then, they were good.
These games are getting really realistic.
Okay, not that good. Just ignore the... What is that? What is that? It looks more terrifying than the monsters in this game. Just ignore the fact that it looks like a red-head origami monster. I really like this opening because you basically go through the entire game, but backwards. You can see the journey ahead, and you get to see the cool fixed camera perspectives. I think people shit on fixed cameras too much nowadays. Everyone says that they only used fixed cameras back in the day because of the limited technology, and that's partly true, but it also has a unique style, and you can make a game really cinematic with fixed cameras. You feel like you're in an actual movie. You will realize soon enough that you've made a horrible mistake. You shouldn't have come here. The door's locked behind you. You are trapped here with forces beyond your control. Nah, I'm sure it will be fine. Okay, finally we get to the gameplay. And yes, there are 10 controls here, which takes some time getting used to, but it's okay. People are shitting on 10 controls way too much. Just like with fixed cameras. You just need some time to get used to them, and then you can finally explore this place and... What's that? Oh, shit. Yes, not even 20 seconds into the game, and already I'm attacked by a big duck. This game is supposed to be inspired by H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu stories. I don't remember there being ducks in Lovecraftian stories. You barely have any time to play and already you are attacked by an enemy. Which is not the most convenient way of starting a video game. Not really fair, I would say. I mean, games back then started throwing enemies at you pretty quickly, which is great, but even in those old games where you get to the action fast, you usually had some time to figure out the controls. You always have a certain period of time where you are safe from enemies and you can learn the controls and experiment. It's something that we take for granted because we're so used to it, we don't even think about it. But it's probably the one thing that is common across literally any game that existed and will exist. And I'm not even talking about having a dedicated tutorial of the game explaining how to walk or shoot or something like that. Basically, in any game, you have a safe area in the beginning, no matter what genre of game we're talking about. And even in games where you are put into the action right away, it's always against low-level enemies that will probably won't kill you. And even if they will, it will take them a long time. And the game tells you exactly what to do in order to deal with them. But when you start alone in the dark, just forget everything that I said. You barely have 10 seconds to breathe, and then boom, an enemy shows up. At least after you deal with it, you can finally rest. Except you can't, because a few seconds later, a zombie comes out of the floor. I think it's a bit too much for the opening section. Okay, so how do you actually fight these guys? I guarantee that the combat system will sound cool for those who haven't played this. You don't just attack in one way, you can attack in 3 different ways. Each attack has a different speed and does different amounts of damage. At least that's what I think. You can do a fast attack, you can do a slow but more powerful attack, you can do an attack that is somewhere in the middle. And it's the same with every melee weapon that you pick up. It also means that you won't get bored by looking at the same attack animation over and over again. So there's a lot of variety. Sounds good, right? Well, this is how it actually looks. This is probably the goofiest combat I've ever seen in any game. Also, look at his stance. Yeah, don't mess with me, bucko, or you shall get a proper ass-whooping. Basically, there's only one strategy to fighting these enemies. There's only one thing that you need to know. Either you hit them first and you stun like them to death, or they hit you first and stun like you to death. As you can see, this is a bit inconvenient. You see this? This is 95% of the combat in this game. Yeah, look at that 1992 kick. Die, you dastardly villain. Oh, he turned into bubbles. That's what? So it's not the best combat, to say the least. And it's really not the best way to start a video game, when you barely have time to breathe and get a grasp on the controls, and the game immediately throws 2 enemies at you. There is something cool that you can do. You can push this closet to block the window, and you can push the chest to block this entrance, or just stand on it. That way, the enemies won't be able to enter, and you will be safe, which is really cool that you can do that, but there's no way you would know all of this on your first playthrough. You can also just break the window yourself, and stun like him before he can even attack. Okay, now we can finally explore this place. Our goal was to find the piano, right? We will probably only find it like towards the end or something. Nope, there it is. Well, that was easy. All we had to do was kill some duck and a zombie. Good detective work. Let's go home. Yeah, we can't leave. We're trapped in this mansion until we figure out what's going on and uncover its secrets. Fine, let's explore. If you will ever play this game and you won't give up after experiencing this amazing combat system, then you might give up here, because you'll try interacting with stuff, but nothing will happen. You'll just raise your fists and it will look like you really want to fight this closet. You can't just interact with stuff by using the interact button. What you need to do is press enter on your keyboard, select action, and choose the option to search. And now, when you press the use button, which is space, instead of looking like you want to give someone a proper beatdown, you will look more like you're an old person looking for their medication. Oh, my hip! But you will be able to interact with objects in the world. You can also pick up certain items just by walking on them. I feel like we've been in this attic for too long. Let's explore the rest of this house. Remember how like a minute ago, enemies ambushed us and we barely had any time to breathe? This happens again. In fact, this happens all of the time. You are almost never safe in this game. The battle music got stuck in my head after listening to it so many times. The music and sound effects in this game are quite good. There are some atmospheric songs here, but the battle song is what sticks out the most for me. But that could just be because of Stockholm Syndrome. Every time you enter a new area, expect something bad to happen to you. This game can be relentless with its enemies. You're just exploring, then BAM! Enemy jumping from the window. At least when you kill all of the enemies, you're safe to explore this place. More like safe to explore your death. Everything wants you dead. Not just the enemies. Literally everything. The floor wants to kill you. Barrels want to murder you. Even fucking cigarettes are trying to kill you, which is actually the most realistic thing in this game. But usually in real life, they kill you slowly throughout the years, and not instantly by making everything black and white. Even when you think that you're smart, by discovering a secret passage, you're still punished. Oh, come on! What is this? Ah! But as annoying as this game can be, it has backflipping rats, so it's all good. Also, if you're tired of walking slower than a 1000-year-old turtle, you can actually run in this game. You do look like a drunk person looking for the toilet, but at least you have infinite stamina. Just double tap the forward arrow and you're good to go. Yes, you use arrows in this game. No WASD for you. Needless to say, this game can be very frustrating. It's a sequence of trial and error. The biggest suggestion I can give you is save every time you make any progress. And I mean any progress. Thank God it's not like Resident Evil and you can save whenever you want. Yes, I finally found a melee weapon. Watch out, foul beast. I'm going to slice you up and... What the fuck? What the fuck? I know I'm shitting on this game a lot, but there are good things here. Even small things that most people will probably ignore. For example, I like how at first it just says a key, but after you use it on a chest, it changes to the chest's key. Nice attention to detail. Okay, let's get going. What the fuck is this? I'm just gonna go this way. Oh, they're not actually fighting me. They're just standing there, menacingly. It's easy to hit them, but I don't know if it does anything. Ouch. Clearly this isn't working. Eventually I got bored and wanted to see what happens if you die, so I let them kill me. Am I being sacrificed? Did that zombie drag me all the way here? That's some good workout for him. After exploring a bit more, we find a mirror and use it on these statues, which makes the gargoyles go senile and attack the air in front of them, and then they die. A simple solution, right? Why do they sound like the best cry ever? Okay, new area. Who's laughing at me? Yeah, of course it's locked. Maybe I can... Oh, what now? Like I said, you are always in danger. This house will be your tomb if you're not careful. You will also feel lost and confused quite often. But like in most horror games, you can find clues by reading notes. Only this game did what many survival horror games do, but it actually did it right. Pretty much every survival horror game tells a lot of its story through notes, but you know, stopping what you're doing every time you want to read something is boring, and it slows down the pace in games that are already slow-paced. And it's even worse because sometimes you have to read them, because there's some information or clue on how to proceed. Here, there's voice acting, which makes it way more tolerable, especially because it's so dramatic. Listen to this.
Some, seeing my recent paintings, may question my sanity. I can only ask them, what is sanity? Where does madness begin? Cannot paint? My pictures are clearly the work of a lunatic.
Now what can you see? The companions of Zeus' sons laughed. Let us set to work.
The night is pitch black. I am again drenched in sweat.
I feel like my grandfather is reading me a bedtime story.
Some children showed one their queer hands.
let's talk about the story some more. The more you explore this place, the more you'll discover what truly happened here. Obviously, all of this isn't normal, at least I hope it's not. Maybe this is just another normal day for rich people with mansions. But anyway, you eventually discover that a long time ago there was a weird pirate here who performed some spooky rituals and communicated with the old ones, kind of like the old gods from Fear and Hunger. Classy gentlemen like Cthulhu, Dagon, and Shab Niggura. You know, all of the Cheds from H.P. Lovecraft stories. They're even mentioned in books that you find. You can even find the Necronomicon. Do not read the Necronomicon.
Inominandum signa stellarum nigrarum et.
Even reading books can kill you in this game. So it's a good thing we have audiobooks now. Use code AUDIBLE to get 10% off your next purchase. I'm kidding, this isn't sponsored. Yet. Sometime after performing his satanic rituals, the pirate was shot, and he presumably died. All of this is somehow connected to the zombies, the ducks, that thing in the bathtub. How did he hit me from there? And also this creature that just sits there. Is it even alive? Oh god, it's alive. Do not touch it. It kind of looks like that thing from Fear and Hunger 2. That thing that goes deep inside of your... Whatever is causing all of this mess needs to be stopped. And not because you're some big macho hero with a fancy mustache, but because you want to get out of here and get paid. But every time you try to progress, something always happens. You can't even cross a hallway without getting attacked by pictures who throw axes and arrows at you. Homing axes and arrows. Even the pictures hate you. I think it's a good time to talk about the puzzles. As much as this game inspired future horror titles and basically created the survival horror genre, it's more of a puzzle adventure game. Sure, Resident Evil and other horror games also had loads of puzzles, but here it feels like you have to solve a puzzle in every room, while you can figure out what to do by reading the various notes and books scattered around. There will be times when you will be stuck in a trial and error loop. I try to avoid a guide as much as possible, but sometimes I just said fuck it and looked it up. It feels like cheating, but in this game, come on, sometimes if you read everything and pay close attention, you will figure out the solution to a problem. But a lot of the times, the solution is more based on just trying random shit, like early on. There's something that you need to open, but you can't. It's locked. You've picked up every item available to you. So that's it. Game over. I guess you're stuck here forever. Bye. Or at least that's what you think, until you realize that by selecting the random vase that you picked up earlier, you can choose to throw it, which causes the vase to break, which then gives you the opportunity to pick up the key that was inside. You then use that key to unlock what you needed earlier, and now you can progress. And it's this trial and error philosophy that can be very frustrating at times, but also kind of rewarding, because it feels good to figure out this shit by yourself. I'm not saying that this was some brilliant moment. All I did was chuck a vase like a caveman, but you know what I mean. You try out things that you might not be used to in other video games, but they do kind of make sense. You picked up something, maybe there's something inside. And yes, there's an inventory system, which lets you discard items and put them on the ground, and they actually stay there forever. If you try to take out things from your inventory in Resident Evil, they just magically disappear. I get why they did it. I get the gameplay reason. But it's still bullshit. I guess you could put things in Resident Evil 0, but we don't talk about that game. Alone in the Dark even did the inventory management thing before Resident Evil. It's not as organized like in Resident Evil, but at least here you have more than 8 storage places, and the small key doesn't take as much space as a goddamn shotgun. At first I was under the impression that you had infinite storage, until I tried to pick up the statue and the game told me, no, fuck off, so I had to put some stuff away. Pro tip, throw everything that you don't need. Everything. Just put it down, but don't be an idiot like me and put it next to a doorway. Put it somewhere in the corner. That way you won't get 20 pop-up messages asking you to pick up the shit that you don't need. Remember those pictures that kill you? Guess how you need to deal with them. Go ahead, guess. Is it A. pulling the pictures out from the wall, B. drawing some dicks on them to distract them, or C. performing an ancient ritual where you talk to Dagon and tell him about your secret fetishes. Write your answers in the comments section below. Did you do it? Did you guess? Well, you are wrong. What you need to do is find an Indian carpet, put it on this picture, run all the way to this spot in this hallway, and shoot the other picture with an arrow, which is not an easy thing to do because the aiming here is not the best and you only have 3 arrows. So again, I suggest you save your game before doing this. In general, save your game every 10 seconds. I don't know why you can't just shoot it with a gun, but I suppose Edward wants to kill it with an arrow because it tried to kill him with an arrow. And this is some kind of twisted revenge. We keep going and hey, this is actually kind of cute, kind of wholesome. Fuck. After exploring and dying some more, you come across a pirate. Arr! Arr! It's the ghost of the pirate who wanted to sleep with Cthulhu, the one who performed all of the spooky rituals. And we can't kill him, no matter how hard we try. We try to whack him, he dodges. We try to shoot him, he dodges. And he does it in a smug way too. Now listen here, Mr. Fancy Pants. Just because you're an immortal spooky pirate ghost doesn't mean that you need to laugh at me while jumping like the world's gayest ballerina. The only way to kill this bastard is by using this sword. So I'll just take it and... You know, if guns don't work, the only logical thing to do is to obviously pick up this big ass statue and throw it on his stupid face. Okay, now we can finally kill this bastard. You're mine now, Captain Poopy Pants. Prepare to meet your... Oh. Goodbye, Captain. It was an honor. Now turn into bubbles. To be honest, I'm not even sure you need to kill him. All he gives you is a key that leads you to an area that you've already explored. And no, you can't use the broken sword from earlier on him. You have to use this one, for some reason. Speaking of which, I know I told you to throw away anything that you don't need, but do not throw away this sword, even if it is broken. Do not throw it away. You need it to open a secret passage, because of course this place has a secret passage. Okay, this is new. Is this some kind of cave? Whoa. Well, I'm not going back that way. At least now I'm safe. This is actually very atmospheric. All I hear are my footsteps in this creepy fleshy tunnel. Come on! There's always something. Is this a chase sequence in a 1992 game? Whoa, are you crazy? Can't you see that giant monster behind us? Get out of the way! At least I have infinite stamina, which is actually surprising. You'd think that maybe in a game like this, you wouldn't be able to sprint for this long. But what does it matter? Of course we fucking die eventually. What we actually need to do is outsmart this creature by going back and turning right. I'm not sure what the point of this cutscene is, but it looks kind of sad. Good, fuck you. Whee! Okay, new area. Oh, what is that? Come here, I'm not afraid of you. Oh shit, I fell. Okay, I am afraid. I am afraid of you. What are you doing to me? Oh. Oh, no. I feel violated. Oh god, no. Ah. These are supposed to be the deep ones. You know, the terrifying monstrosities from H.P. Lovecraft stories. But here it's... what the fuck. Aside from the sexual harassment part, they are very goofy. Oh shit, there's another one. Fuck that. Oh, what is this shit now? That's what you'll be asking yourself for at least 90% of this game. Oh, what is this shit now? There are enemies that you only see like once or twice, and then you never see them again. Which is true for most of the enemies here. No flying allowed. This is a weird part. Weirder than usual, I mean. Because you obviously can't move forward until you realize that you suddenly have the ability to jump, which is something you could not do before. And then you play the worst platformer ever. Yeah, I don't know why they created this part, but hey, this is probably the scariest part yet. And yes, I saved after every successful jump. Now we get to a crossroads. Let's go here. And second thought, let's go over there. Yeah, this is better. Not creepy at all. Okay, this is the scariest part. Good luck trying to figure out which direction Edward is facing. Before, he just looked like a giant pixel. Now, he looks like a tiny pixel. Did I mention that this game has 10 controls? Meaning that if you want to jump forward, you need Edward to look forward. If he looks slightly to the left or to the right, he will fall. Eventually, we finally cross this horrible bridge section, and we find a spooky gem, and go into another creepy cave. And now, we get to a truly terrifying part. You have to navigate this creepy labyrinth. Your lamp barely illuminates you. This is when you realize that you are truly alone. In the dark. Only you, your tiny lamp, and the voices of your footsteps. This is my favorite part of the game. We progress through the darkness, and we use the gem we found earlier. Exiting the darkness, we arrive at a tree. This is kind of beautiful. Seeing something like this after the darkness and all of the horrible things we've been through is nice. It's relaxing. But this is Alone in the Dark. This game hates us. It hates you, it hates me, it even hates your grandparents, and even your great-great-grandparents. So of course, the tree shoots fireballs. Every tree does that, it's normal. So the logical thing to do is to run straight at it, take its hook, put a magical talisman where the hook was, realize that the tree is actually an ugly pirate, throw the lamp at its stupid face, and then run away as he burns in agony. I guess that was the final boss? Also, the tree can hit Killer Croc, which is funny. Hey, this is where the zombie dragged me like 100 times, every time I died. So yeah, that person inside of the tree, that was the pirate that flirted with the old ones, the one who performed the rituals. Turns out that by performing these rituals, he gained supernatural powers. So after he was shot, he used those powers to combine himself with a tree, which kept him alive. He also gained the ability to summon spooky monsters, and is the reason for everything we've been through in this game. His name is Ezekiel Pregzt. And his tree form is based on the H.P. Lovecraft story, The Tree, which is a story about a spooky tree. That is all. As powerful as he is still stuck inside of a tree, so he cannot unleash his evil into the outside world. He is limited to this mansion. That's why he wants us dead. He wants his minions to bring our body to him, so he could take control of it, which would allow him to leave this place and take over the planet. Or something like that. But all of that doesn't matter, because we burn his tree-hugging ass. After running back the way we came from, we're finally back in the mansion. There are no enemies anymore. We have purged all evil from this foul place. A guy with this face defeated an ancient evil tree pirate. If you really want to, you can explore this place in peace and really appreciate all of the work and effort that was put into it, which is cool, I guess. Time to say goodbye to this place. We had fun together. I'll miss you. No, actually I won't. I'm happy to leave. Look at my happy face. Yahoo! It's time to get paid. Driver, after I get my money, please drive me to the local brothel so that I may enjoy some fine bitches. Thank you. Oh god. That was the goofiest ending I've ever seen. Did Edward just kept riding with the zombie without saying anything? Where was the zombie up until now? Was it driving my car all of this time? I guess we'll never know. Wait, wasn't I supposed to look for some piano? There was one in the beginning, but I didn't do anything with it. Oh well, this was a really short game. It took me like 3 hours to beat, and that's only because I tried not to use a guide as much as possible. But that's not a bad thing. It's as long as it needed to be, which is what your girlfriend says, to try and comfort you. But naturally, I did look at the guide a few times, because this game can be a bit confusing, to say the least. Before we had the Spencer mention, zombies, and even the idea of a survival horror game, we had this. A pretty small and annoying, but very impressive and innovative game that was quite ahead of its time, about a spooky Lovecraftian mansion and a tree-hugging ghost pirate. I wanted to end the video here, but as I was finishing the script for this video, I thought to myself, man, it was really interesting playing this game. I got to experience a historic piece of gaming history, but I did suffer a lot, so why not play the sequels? What's the worst that can happen? So that's what I did. I've played and finished Alone in the Dark 2 and Alone in the Dark 3, and also another little game. I wanna talk about them and show you why they are special in more than one way. That's right, this is a triple feature, a review or analysis or walkthrough or whatever you want to call this, of the entire original trilogy. The sequels are pretty much the same as the original in terms of mechanics, so I will mainly talk about the story and bullshit. Lots and lots of bullshit. You'll see. You will see. When starting Alone in the Dark 2, you'll notice that everything is still pixelated, but there's more life put into it. Everything feels more lively. How do you think the sequel to the game that basically invented the survival horror genre starts? It's going to be like the first game, but even creepier, right? Think about it for a few seconds. Now, take whatever you were thinking about and flush it down the toilet, because you are wrong. Probably. This is nothing like you think it is. Or at least it's nothing like I thought it would be. Look at this opening cutscene.
22nd of December, 1924.
Oh, look at him go. Is that a zombie with a Tommy gun? Look at him go. Ah, where are your eyes? Ah, the classic. The old pretending to sleep for 2 seconds clown technique. I use it every day. Either characters don't have eyes, or they have huge anime eyes. There's a different version of this game where she looks like this. But we don't talk about that. We will never talk about that. I didn't know the Joker was in this game. Did the Joker die from a cup of water? And who the fuck is this lady? At first, I only wanted to briefly mention these games, but there is so much to talk about here. Welcome to the Goofy Zone. This game has a more goofy tone. The first game was also kind of silly, but here the silliness is much more prevalent. As you can probably see, this doesn't look like a spooky horror game anymore. It looks more like a weird James Bond knockoff. this game as a whole has a more action feel to it. It's weird and unexpected. I thought this was supposed to be the prototype to Resident Evil. It's like if Wolfenstein 3D was the prototype to Doom, but then it would have a sequel that would have an entirely different feeling to it. Like, instead of staying a fast-paced shooter, it suddenly became similar to Call of Duty. Oh wait, one of the characters is literally named Striker. You can't get more actiony than this. That's a name for like an action character, or a Mortal Kombat character. Edward himself looks like a spy sent by the government. He even came prepared with a fucking exploding briefcase. Just like in the first game, you don't really get a chance to breathe, and you immediately need to fight some enemies. Look at his moves though. This time, he doesn't look like he wants to give someone a proper gentleman's beating. He fights like a skilled and deranged fighter. He even uses headbutts. Now, call me crazy, but I think that if you want your game to be scary, you shouldn't give your character the ability to headbutt a motherfucking zombie with a Tommy gun. Yeah, this is going to be special.
Morning, sir.
Also, what happened to your mustache? He doesn't look like Edward from the first game. He looks more like his rebellious son. Oh, and don't try to leave, because then you'll be living with the fishes. Right off the bat, I want to mention something really positive about this game. The biggest innovation ever. Thankfully, this game doesn't have the problem of having hundreds of items that you don't need that clutter your inventory. You don't need to make a nice pile of junk like in the first game. I'm not sure if you have infinite storage or if you just don't pick up that many items, but I never had an inventory problem here. Also, key items disappear from your inventory after you use them. Like, if you use a key to a door, it disappears, which is fucking great. It seems like the developers learned from their past mistakes. But not entirely, because of course, our best friend, stunlocking, is back with a vengeance. Because this time enemies have guns, and they can shoot you from across the screen. Meaning, you will get hit by enemies that you haven't even seen yet, and get stunlocked. This is even worse than being ass-blasted by the cultists in blood.
Modern action fear books!
You can try to run away, but that's not the most reliable strategy. But then, I found out that it's exactly what you're supposed to do. You see that group of armed zombies? You don't need to run away from them, you need to run straight at them. Hope that they do not turn you into Swiss cheese, and then go here, and wait for this to happen. The game only started and I don't know what's going on. I'm in a sewer and I lost all of my weapons. I thought this was weird, like the game was punishing me for trying out this random tactic, like I'm not supposed to go here. So I decided to try a different strategy. What you are actually supposed to do is go here, push the statue, fight like a gajillion zombies inside of a hedge maze, pray that you will stun like them before they will stun like you. This is a good place to do it. Then you move on, you do not touch any of the cards except this one, solve a bunch of puzzles, find a special sword, fight these leafy hands, fight a pirate zombie with a gun in his leg, use the hook on this thing, open the secret passage, and then, finally, you get to the same place you were before. So you do need to go here. All of this was pointless. And don't think that it might be worth doing all of that because you get some new weapons or something. No matter what, you lose all of your weapons when you fall down here. So yeah, doing all of that was completely pointless. Oh no, they killed that guy that we came here to save. So... can I go home now? He left us a note before he died.
Carnby. If you read this, it means I am dead. The Saunders child was kidnapped by One-Eyed Jack, despite what the newspaper claimed. That man is a monster, obsessed with gambling and death.
Ah, fine. I'll go rescue the little girl. The dramatic reading is back, but now there's also a pirate voice, because on top of gangster zombies, there are pirates again. Yeah, this is quite bonkers.
In 1717, he was found and brought aboard the Jolly Roger by One-Eyed Jack. Never, never, never shall be slaves, still echoed in the air when the dark horse blew up. Danny Boy had tried to extinguish the fuse by spitting on it.
Captain Pregg's orders rang out about the howling of the tempest. Do as he says.
They were accused of raiding Madame Jojo's gambling house.
It seems the voice actors had more fun this time around. That's nice. You know what's not nice? Really not nice? Making important items the size and color of a 1mm floor tile. Yeah, that's really cool. Thanks, guys. I actually really like the next puzzle. There's a key on the other side of the door, so you need to use a pipe cleaner to make it fall. But then you wouldn't be able to get it, so you use a newspaper before you use the pipe cleaner to make it fall on the newspaper, so you can drag it to your side of the door. Thankfully, you cannot soft lock yourself by just using the pipe cleaner. The key only falls after you use the newspaper. Hey, who's that guy?
Hey, you.
The zombies can talk? Get out of here! You look like a piece of poo that's being flushed down the toilet. What does this do? Ow. Wait, didn't I just throw him down to the bottom of the sea? How is he here? And what's with the peaceful music playing while I'm being plunged to my death? Let's use this thing to our advantage this time. Let's use it to push him. It didn't work. Unless we use a bag we found earlier and jump scare him.
Hi, guy.
Ha! Yes, it actually worked. That is so juvenile. There's a lot of weird and creative puzzles here. Some are optional like this one, but they're so goofy. I already accepted that this isn't a survival horror game, but it's okay. The comedic elements of this game makes me kind of love it. I also love the small animations that play out when you use certain items. I really like them. That is all. Remember how I said this game is way goofier than the first one? If you weren't convinced yet, here's a zombie with an accordion. Why? Why is there a zombie with an accordion? I don't fucking know. No, wait, he actually has some lore, some backstory.
By this pact signed by me, Sean O'Leary, called Music Man, and Elizabeth Jarrett, arm of the evil powers, I'm granted immortality. This pact is renewable every 100 years.
He just casually talks about his immortality, but I think he got scammed, because even though he claims to be immortal, you can still kill him, or even better, tear this note in front of him. Then he just dies on his own. Also, every time I pause the game, a rat shows up here. How did I get from a haunted mansion to fighting gangster zombies? After finally killing these guys and solving another card puzzle, we get to...
Help! Help me!
Hey little chef, don't worry, I'm not going to hurt you. Oh, Jesus! So it's gonna be like that, huh? Wait, before I go get revenge on that midget, I'm going to use this nickel to get some tokens. Hey, he's just minding his own business. Here, man, how about this? Take it. It's yours. Remember kids, don't drink alcohol. I told you this game was goofy. But wait, it's about to get even goofier. A sec. I got a sec. What? Santa? I'm Santa Claus now. What is this game? Wait, now the midget isn't calling his friends to kill me. Because I'm wearing a Santa Claus outfit? Does that mean that these zombies like Santa Claus and now they will be friendly towards me? Okay, guess not. In the previous game, everything was trying to kill you, including the house itself. In every room, there was some weird creature or set piece that could lead to your death. Here, instead of environmental hazards, there's just a million cowboy zombies with machine guns. Again, even the cultists from Blood weren't this douchey, but don't worry, there's still some environmental traps waiting to murder you. This trident fork thing will chase you forever, but there's a really beautiful solution to this deadly predicament. You run away until the midget gets between you and the fork, then you make the fork hit him instead of you, and boom, you're not impaled, and you got some sweet revenge. And yes, the big chef just talked with us.
Do you know that wine may open many a door?
Maybe only the chefs believe in Santa, and that's why they don't attack us. He gives us a hint about some wine, but now the master chef is angry because we made the little chef die. So you slap his ass and steal his plate of fried eggs. That's really something you can do. After finding the wine he was talking about and making enemies shoot each other, which is hilarious, we head upstairs. As you can see, the combat in this game has way more depth than it did in the previous game. Really outstanding stuff. I managed to beat like 5 of them by doing this. Imagine if this game had a stamina bar, like in Dark Souls, and you would get tired after every swing. After beating zombies with a frying pan and having a duel with some wall hands, we combine the wine with some poison and lure out enemies so they will open this door. Why can't I take these guns? We use one of the tokens we got earlier to open this door, and now we got a bulletproof vest, which is the best item in the game, because it prevents you from being stun-locked, which is fucking amazing. The bad news is that it can break, but the good news, we can put it under our Santa costume. It's probably really hot wearing all of this stuff. After some more bullshit, we get teleported, and now we're fighting ninja zombies. We kill the ninja and the gangster zombie, and we finally get to where the little girl was. In the intro cutscene, she's long gone. But hey, at least the creepy clown is here. What is he doing? What are you doing? Get off, get off, get off. I guess he didn't die from that cup of water. He lost his eyes though. Obviously, the best and logical thing to do is to get a pom-pom and use it as a distraction for this clown and some snakes, so that we can literally do a full Santa cosplay and fall down the chimney. Now it's about to get even more goofy, but also more serious. We unlock a door, we go through it, and wow, it's actually dark, in a game called Alone in the Dark. Prepare yourself for this beauty.
By the horn of Beelzebub, the Flying Dutchman was calling me. It was like honey to a bee. The enemy wanted to put an end to it. Its cannons spouted death. No matter. My ship was sinking, but my praise bridge flowed with blood. On this Xmas Eve of 1724, the cries of pain filled the air like the most glorious of hymns. The captain, one Nichols, told me to go to the devil. He died cursing me. You will die by my sword, Jack! Ha ha! His sword remained stuck on the deck of his ship, the Flying Dutchman. My lieutenants greedily burst the locks of the hold. The crew seemed disappointed with the loot, but I knew we had taken the finest of all treasures, and in Elizabeth's eyes I could read our destiny, and death became an illusion. I signed the pact, and so did my men. The Dutchman was ours. From then on, thousands of legends were being told about the Flying Dutchman. We hid here in 1824, but the cliff collapsed on our ship, And so our land flowed with blood, and we named our conquest Hell's Kitchen. A land with no past offered itself to us to guarantee our future. We built our mansion, and since then we reign undisputedly. Ha 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 ha!
This is One-Eyed Jack, the main antagonist. I'm not sure why he told us his whole life story instead of just killing us, but basically, about 200 years ago, he was just a normal pirate riding along on the sea. One day he felt like something was calling to him. So then he boarded a ship called the Flying Dutchman, and then he murdered everyone there. He also saved a woman that by coincidence was a witch with immortality powers, so she made him and all of his men immortal. But that part about him dying by the captain's sword, well, you'll see. I'll get deeper into the story later. Hey, it's that girl we need to rescue. She's just casually walking along like there isn't a zombie pirate standing next to her. After banging our heads against the wall, we use a hook to get out. I'm not sure why this works. Maybe because it's a hook and it's related to pirates, and everything is pirate themed in these games. After escaping, we continue to search the house and... Hey, isn't that the lady from the intro cutscene? Oh god, this music. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why do you have telekinetic powers? Choking me with the force is not the worst thing she did. She took my Santa outfit, and now we play as... the girl? No. It was bad enough being stunlocked to death while being a grown-ass James Bond knockoff. What am I supposed to do as a small defenseless child with big eyes? How did she even escape? Actually, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. It's a pretty short section, and if enemies see you, you just get cut. No stun locking. But you are slow as fuck. This is my running speed. Well, it's not really running, more like skipping in a very carefree way. Okay, maybe I'm not defenseless. Look at these moves. Damn, that's scary. Especially this. Oh, and if you try to leave, this happens. At least they don't kill the girl, and I'm not sure they even kill Edward. He's just up there, swinging. They do seem happy though, good for them. What we need to do here is wait for this mobster to get into his car. Then we get inside of the trunk and ride for like 5 seconds. Now, okay, it's hard to say this without laughing, but you need to sneak around here, and I think you can say that this is the first 3D stealth game? So this is not just the prototype for Resident Evil and survival horror games. Apparently it's also the prototype for Thief, Metal Gear Solid, Splinter Cell, Hitman, and every game that has a stealth mechanic. I'm kidding, of course. Or am I? You need to sneak up and grab another hook. Man, how many hooks are just lying around here? Do they fall off of their hands or something? Look at these advanced stealth techniques. They're dancing. I'm dancing. We all know how to have fun here. I like how there's a teddy bear in the inventory screen when you play as the girl, instead of the cowboy when you play as Edward. Why does he have a cowboy there? This game is about mobster pirates. The cowboys are in the next game. Spoilers. After solving a puzzle, a zombie comes out of a tree and grabs us. We are cut and sent to where Edward is. Now it's time for the grand reveal.
More than 2 centuries ago, Elizabeth Jarrett arrived in Haiti. I was then an innocent young girl. But Cotton, my tutor, taught me contempt. In hiding, a slave of his taught me to ride the shadows. Soon, the slave grew stronger than the master. Cotton felt the extent of my revenge and became my creature. The soldiers took us prisoner, but could they recognize Cotton? From then on, the Flying Dutchman was my jail. My spirit wandered. One-Eyed Jack heard my call for help. My soul guided him, and death is my ally. He and his crew would become immortal, and every 100 years, an innocent girl would turn old for us. A gust of freedom freshened my jail.
Why do the villains like to tell me their life stories instead of just killing me? This game really is a James Bond parody. Wee, look at her go. Yeah, good job not tying up the girl. This lady kind of reminds me of Victoria from Fifth the Dark Project, but way less cooler. Basically, this psycho bitch learned some black magic and she was the one who gave Jack his immortality. But there's a catch. In order to keep their immortality, every 100 years they need to sacrifice a little girl. That's why they kidnapped this little girl. And I won't let her die, because she has some funny dance moves. And it will be a shame to lose such talent. We continue to play as the girl, and we use our stealth tactics to sneak around. We talk to a parrot.
If it is the staff you're looking for, it has been hidden. What a bore! In the cabin of the One-Eyed Man. That's where you should seek it, if you can. If you please, do not sneeze.
Keep going and... Sir, I think you're supposed to capture me. Now I'm just stuck like this. Oh, he's stuck too. This game is actually not buggy at all, but occasionally stuff like this can happen. After sneaking around and grabbing some items, we use the world's smallest cannon to kill a pirate. Did I tell you that this game was silly? And no, you can't shoot yourself with the cannon. We make some chef's kiss, and we make some enemies slip and die on ice cubes. I swear this is some Looney Tunes shit. The game does a good job pointing you in the right direction. At least in this part. It won't let you go where you're not supposed to, and that way you won't get lost and frustrated. Which is something I will complain about a lot in the next game. We do some more weird puzzles and we get caught. Again, now we control Edward and we need to reach for the key. I actually thought that this was a cutscene at first, and I just waited for something to happen. We're back to playing as Edward, and we need to kill this. Why is this guy's sword broken? We're back to the shitty combat, but you know what? When the enemies don't have guns, it's kind of nice. It's kind of fun whacking them until they die. Now I don't need to hide like a little girl. I can actually kill them. Look at that skeleton. Stop laughing. Oh, there's a lot of them to wake up. Don't worry, I'll find a big alarm clock for all of you. We power up this cannon and blow everyone the fuck up. It's cool and satisfying and all, but we mainly did it to get some gold. Not because we're greedy, I mean, we are greedy, but the enemies are even greedier. So we use the gold to lure out some midget chefs, so they will open this door for us. Come here, you're not getting away. After killing 2 tiny chefs, we kill 1 big chef, who drops a jack of diamonds. I don't know why this game is obsessed with cards, but we use it on this door. Though I don't know how you're supposed to figure that out, I just randomly tried it. Oh no, it's the bitch in the purple dress. The girl just casually walks in. I can't decide if I like this game or not. It's so wacky. We play as the girl again. We use the staff we got earlier to get to the lady and try to stop her. Yeah, I don't think you need an evil force field to block a tiny child. Unless she uses a chicken foot, which then obviously destroys the ancient evil, kills this bitch, and teleports the girl to a boat. I don't know what's going on either. There's some book that explains all of this, but still it's so stupid and bonkers. I mean, who cares about the explanation? I just used a chicken's foot to kill an ancient witch. Nothing can make me take this game seriously now, but it does make me love it. We take control of Edward again and head for the final battle.
This is the final battle!
We fight a bunch of pirates, and of course we massacre them. There's even one with an accordion. Again. We even glide on a rope like a true pirate and fight a ninja pirate on a catwalk. Wow. This is actually epic. Remember that part about Jack dying by the previous captain's sword? Well, he wasn't wrong. We find that sword and we use it to kill Jack. Yes, he just showed up while we were fighting his men. He also managed to tie up the little girl. How did you do it so fast? It's time for an epic showdown. Just you and me. Let's go. Am I winning? I'm not sure exactly how this happened, but I got this message, and then everything blew up. What you need to do in this fight is run up to the cannon, which then stops it from blowing everything up, somehow. Now the only thing left to do is kill him once and for all, and get off this island. Take this, and that, boom, you're dead. Finally, we can get out of here. Oh, he's still alive, but it's okay, because this dumbass accidentally blows himself up while we escape. Ooh, look, it looks like a spooky face. Ooh, scary. And then it ends. The game just ends. Where are your eyes? Well, this is certainly an ending. All of the fighting was actually really climactic and appropriate. I really like that final section. But then it just ends abruptly. But hey, at least they got away. The girl is safe, and Edward needs to grow his mustache back. Okay, so that was a weird game. After playing what is basically the first survival horror game, I was expecting a more horror-oriented experience. I definitely didn't expect this, but just because a game doesn't meet your expectations doesn't mean that it's bad. But this is kind of bad. Even so, I am inclined to like this game. It has a really goofy tone, which I kind of like, and aside from the stun locking and occasional randomness in the puzzles, I did enjoy this game. The first one is probably my favorite out of the bunch, but in some ways I like this game even more. The puzzles weren't too frustrating, and we got to do some wacky dance moves. It was kind of fun sometimes. My positivity ends here, because Alone in the Dark 3 exists. I don't know if I'm the only one to feel this way. Maybe it was because I played this game right after I played the other ones, and I got fatigued and tired. But this game really pissed me off. So I will mainly be complaining and talking about its bullshit. Remember Emily from the first game? Oh yeah, there wasn't a character selection in the second game, I forgot to mention that. You could only play as Edward in the second game, and it's the same here. But she is part of the story in this game. Remember how she and Edward never interacted with each other in any way, shape or form? Well, apparently they do know each other. In 1925, the first two games took place in 1924, so somehow everything that happened in these games took place in the span of 1 year. In 1925, Edward got a call informing him that Emily has been kidnapped.
Carnby.
Greg Saunders, Hill Century.
Cut it short, Greg. I've got problems.
You're onto a new case?
No, not really, no. I'm alone in the dark.
Hey, whoa, hey, he said it, he said it, he said the thing.
The film crew's disappeared.
$1,000 plus expenses.
500.
800.
Conby, Emily Hartwood's out there. Yeah, your friend. She was part of the crew.
Oh, then it's 1,200.
Okay.
Wait, did he ask for $1,000, then lowered it to $800, and after hearing that his own friend was kidnapped, he raised it to $1,200. That's why you don't have any friends, Edward. That's why nobody comes to your birthday parties. This time there are different difficulty levels. Usually I like to play games on the hardest difficulty, but I think I'll stick with average. I even considered choosing the easy difficulty, and I don't blame anyone who does choose this difficulty. We begin a new game, and we just start the game. There's no walking through a big mansion, there's no elaborate set piece. You just press start and voila! Slaughter Gulch. Gulch. Yeah, this game will slaughter my sanity. And of course you can immediately fall to your death. Are those supposed to be the enemies celebrating my death? They haven't even met me yet. Can I leave? Oh, shut up, Edward. You're not really doing this for Emily. You're doing this for the $1,200, which was probably a lot of money back then. Okay, there is a small set piece. Now we are trapped here, even though Edward should be able to jump across this bridge. He could jump so far back when he had a mustache, but now he somehow looks younger and he can't even jump. There's also this weird save system that I didn't understand. California? Nevada? What is this? What's the point of dividing the saves into different states? I just always saved here. I don't know what the point of this is. This game really likes to complicate things, even the saving process. Oh, and if you try to go back before the set piece, then this happens. So now we actually start the game, and what is this bouncy music? God, it's so annoying. And what's worse, this is probably the most common track in the game. And why do I get one-shotted? I mean, it's realistic, kind of, but in the previous game, I could take like 50 rounds from a Tommy gun. Here I die from one pistol shot. I barely even started the game, and already I found so much to complain about. I'm usually a calm and nice person, friendly, kind. Sometimes I might burn your house down, but I mean, come on, who hasn't done that? But this game, it drives me nuts. I have daily nightmares about the puzzles in this game. The game traumatized me, especially because, in a baffling decision, they brought back the way you search and interact with objects. That thing when you need to choose search in the menu and then you walk around like a disabled old person. They brought it back from the first game. Why? You already did it so much better in the second game. Just walk up to something and you pick it up, no matter if it's on the floor, on a table, or in a closet. Simple, classy, but no. Now you need to select the search option, walk up to something, press use, make yourself look like a dumbass, wait for like 3 seconds, and only then you can pick something up. It's like you're looking at things like a very curious caveman, but at the same time, there are items that you can pick up just by walking on them. So, why? And why is there a guy shooting at me from above, through the floor? I clearly got hit there, but I didn't lose any health. What? Even he's confused. He just leaves. There are a lot of things that I can nitpick in this game, but what really pissed me off are the puzzles. Again, I don't know if it's because I just played the previous games and I got fatigued, or I missed some notes, or maybe I'm just a big dum-dum. but man are these puzzles annoying. I know that adventure games use really asinine logic when it comes to puzzles, especially in point-and-click adventure games, but come on, I mean, look at this. Okay, we throw a bottle in order to break it, so we can get what's inside, which is a token. That's fine, that's logical, that's something that also happened in the first game. But how are we supposed to know that we need to use that token and the piano to watch a slideshow? That's not the first thing that comes to mind about how to use a token. In the previous game we needed to use a token to open a door, which was also weird. And here, another example. This door is locked, but looking at it makes it and the door next to it open. How? And this part. Remember when you could suddenly jump in the first game? And it was the worst platformer ever? They brought that back as well. But whatever, it's not hard, as long as you quick save every time you make a successful jump. But then, you come to a dead end. You cannot progress. Unless you randomly, maybe by trial and error, decided to use an Indian amulet here, which summons an old Indian man that brings you to the other side. How the fuck am I supposed to know that I need to use an Indian amulet here? How? Did they pull me out of the lava just to beat me up? That's some dedication. And why is he the only one hitting me? Is the other one just lazy? Oh, and how can I forget about this part? You have to find a water pitcher and a candlestick in order to progress. Except, how are you supposed to know that you need to search here for them? Were they inside of the walls? This is worse than secret hunting in Wolf 3D. It's way too random. Now imagine this frustration for at least 90% of the game. But it didn't have to be this way. Some puzzles and encounters have hints and clues that are actually decent, like these posters. They tell you how to deal with some of the enemies. They give you clues about their weaknesses.
Wanted dead or alive, Jim Burris, alias Lone Miner. Reward $400. This coyote is so greedy the only thing that can stop him is a golden bullet.
Why does he sound kind of like Max Payne? And by that I mean James McAfee. It's not really him, but we will be hearing from him soon enough in these games. Also, almost all of the enemies turn into demonic cats when you kill them. Some turn into bats. There's also a floating rectangle. I give up. I do like the tense music that plays when you enter combat. You can also find a Gatling gun. That's something. That's cool. Also, there's this guy that helps us. He even says that he's on our side. I don't know why, but thanks. Don't kill him. You will pay for it. I could go over all of the puzzles and tell you all how unfun they are, which I almost did, but that will take too long. Let's just talk about the story real quick.
Danger! Beware of explosions!
So there was this guy named Jed Stone, which sounds like a wrestler or porn star name.
Jed Stone!
He is believed to be the child of the bitch in purple and the pirate from the first game. I'm assuming that happened before he turned into a tree. Jed Stone and his buddies came to this town and slaughtered... Slaughter Gulch, I get it. And slaughtered every single Indian that was there, because that's what Americans do, I guess. They took over the town and started digging for treasure. Along the way, some of them turned into ghosts and zombies, because that's a tradition at this point. Jed Stone also became immortal. At least I think he's immortal. One day, Jed said to himself, "Man, ruling over a ghost town is boring. Let's start the apocalypse. In order to do that, he needs a sacrifice, because that's also a tradition in these games. Someone has to be sacrificed by an immortal being. In the first game, it was the player character. In the second game, it was the little girl. And here, it's Emily. Apparently she was in the movie industry. She came to this town to make some kind of film. The story in this game takes place like 100 years ago, so the best they could make back then was a black and white gif of some cowboys dancing. Jed killed her crew and kidnapped her. He wanted to use her as a sacrifice to bring forward the apocalypse. But he also wanted to use her to get rid of Edward. for some reason. It looks like he knows who Edward is, and maybe he holds some kind of grudge against him, and he really wants him dead. Maybe he knew that Edward was good at stopping supernatural bullshit, and he wanted to kill him as soon as possible. Or maybe he wanted to get revenge on Edward for killing his lovely parents, even though the girl was the one who killed her with the chicken foot. But using Emily worked, because Edward came to her rescue.
Emily for the case and the key! Midnight at the water tank! Jed Stone!
And eventually he manages to kill Edward by using Emily as a hostage. Yes, Edward actually dies. The main character, the protagonist of a video game, actually dies before the video game ends. That's quite surprising. Let us play the guessing game again. What do you think happened after he died? Is it A, the game just ends? Is the game over? B, is the game over, but it's only one of multiple endings, and there's an ending where this doesn't happen, where Edward survives? Or it's C, you take control of Emily and you continue playing. It's time to choose! Did you choose? Did you make your choice? Well, once again, you are fucking wrong. It's actually option D. After Edward dies, a ghost of some Indian who was slaughtered here brings Edward back to life, but as a cheetah, or a mountain lion, or whatever this is. He brings Edward back as a big-ass cat. How didn't you figure this out? It was so obvious. This is a cool little section. You move really fast and you attack with your claws. But only the idea is cool, because even here there are some annoyances. Your health is constantly ticking down, you can't really kill anyone, you can still be killed pretty easily, and there's this part where you jump across the stairs, which is great, you have improved mobility, but 2 seconds later, you fall down this hole, because suddenly you cannot jump across, which is super weird, but then you realize that, oh, I'm sorry, for some reason, here and only here, I have to select jump in order to jump, but 3 seconds later, I can't select jump, and I can just do it by running, like I did on the stairs. Why are you doing this to me, game? This is super confusing and inconsistent. This might seem like a small issue, but this is what I'm talking about. This is what pisses me off about this game. This happens all of the goddamn time, or at least that's how it feels. Then, you fight a werewolf out of nowhere, but only a silver weapon can kill it. So you need to run away from it until you can dip your claw into some tar and silver salt. And now you can kill the wolf with your silver claw. But then I kill the second wolf with my normal claw. Oh, what? Then the wolves turn into zombies, which then turn into demonic cats. You know, when I started playing a game called Alone in the Dark, I did not expect to go through a chase sequence as a lion. After finding and burning a golden crow, Edward is somehow resurrected in his own body. The guy that was burying him shits his pants and runs away. This was actually badass. Good job, Edward. Look at him ready to fight. But wait, it gets even weirder. 2 seconds later, you discover that you have a doppelganger. But not like in Fear and Hunger, where they smile a lot and try to eat you. He will kick your ass if you try to fight him. He's way stronger than you. You have to show him that you're not hostile, and then you fuse together, like you have the Patara earrings. And the first thing Edward does after fusing with his green self is saying that he likes cowboys. I always dreamed of being a cowboy. I think I would have a different reaction. Something like, oh shit, I just fused with myself, what the fuck is going on? Why was my doppelganger green? Or something like that. Unlike DBZ, this fusion doesn't make you stronger. I really have no idea what the point of it is. Being a cowboy is cool and all, it's not a Santa Claus costume, but it will do. This game is so random, I'm literally using things randomly, and sometimes it works. At least it seems like they had even more fun with the voice acting in this game.
May the 4th, 1865, 9:30 p.m. All contact with the mountain ore causes irreversible mutations. The hydrogen in the molecules is replaced by its isotope due to deuterium. If that's true, then I'll soon be sitting beside Mr. Stone.
Jed Stone!
Again, random puzzle. If you step on the wrong area, you fall to your death. I have no idea how you're supposed to know where to go. Maybe according to this map? Somehow? I just did it with trial and error.
Hi, guy.
After some more bullshit, we get to this part. Why did you just drink it? You just put poison in it, and then you drink it for no reason. What? Why am I tiny? No matter how much I play these games, they never cease to amaze me with random crap. Nothing tells you to do this. Nothing tells you that this would happen. It is cool, I guess. We use our small stature in order to get to this cell with a zombie doctor and give him a needle shot. It's covered with poison, so it kills him. Again, random. Cool, but random. We get the key to the goal. I love these item names. There was also a really useful key in the previous game. Very informative. Let's just speedrun through the remaining puzzles and encounters. You use a piece of straw to get to a zombie spider thing. You shrink it and crush it. Do not touch the spider webs. Then you see Jed and he starts shooting at you. You then climb on a wall like you're Spider-Man. And you face off against a big headless zombie. You pick up his head, which is just sitting there, and then you... Did you just die from a 2-meter fall? You pick up his head and throw it. You tell him to go fetch, and he literally does it. Okay, you know there are people out there that genuinely believe that this is a horror game. After that, you fight against a martial artist ninja zombie, similar to the ones in the previous game, but this time he fucked up. He brought martial arts to a gunfight. Finally, we get to Jed himself, but he runs away like a pussy. Don't worry, Emily, I'll save you. Wait, I get why they put Edward here, but where did they put Emily? They probably killed her. This is too kinky for me. We managed to free Emily, but she goes to sleep. So now we need to fight this guy. But after we defeat him, we get crushed by spikes. So we do it again, but this time we managed to wake up Emily. Ah shit! We managed to wake up Emily and she... Yeah, no, take your time. It's not like I'm about to be spiked to death. Final boss time. We don't just fight Jed, we also fight against these dickheads. These immortal dickheads. You can see them in the very beginning where they can one-shot you. They've been terrorizing me throughout the whole game, and you could never kill them. And it's the same here, you cannot kill them here. And on top of that, Jed has a mech suit. How does he have a mech suit? This is 1925, goddammit. And why do they teleport while burping? The only way to defeat them is to use the evil wand with a mineral tip. Man, these item names are really informative. This causes the hack to have green eyes, which then kills them. Wait, I need a drink. Now it's just Jed, but like I said, he has a goddamn mech suit. Shooting him is out of the question. So how about a little bit of electricity? That was not what I meant. Let's use the glove this time. The glove that's just lying around here. We cut some electric wires and turn on the water. I don't know why he's searching for me over there when he saw me running here, but even his mech suit can deal with 10,000 volts. The spirits of the damned push his body into the electrified water, and he gets shocked to death. This was actually a really climactic fight. The music makes this fight even better. It makes you feel like the apocalypse is really coming, and you have to put everything on the line. Just don't forget to pick this item up. It's funny to think that if this fight took place anywhere else, we would have no chance of winning. We only won thanks to some electric water and Indian ghosts. We find Emily and use a train to finally leave this fucking place. This game. This fucking game. I'm not sure what to say at this point. The story is cool, but nonsensical, but that's every game in this franchise. There were some cool moments here, but the puzzles, the randomness, the lack of direction, I'm tired of complaining about it. The only real good thing I can say about this game is that it handles enemies' attacks way better than the other games. For the most part, it doesn't put you through stun like hell. Enemies have bigger delays between each of their attacks, so you actually have a chance of attacking them or avoiding them before they can attack again. That's a really big deal. Also, like in the second game, you never get to a point where you have a full inventory and you need to make a big pile of items, like in the first game. The music and sound effects are good, sometimes even really good. The animations are good. Also, this game has the most climactic final boss fight, so that's something, I guess. I think that if you could combine all of the good aspects of each game, you will get a really solid and fun survival horror game, or even just a really fun action game that isn't frustrating and confusing. But at least these games have the greatest combat we will ever see in our entire existence. No matter how much these games might annoy me, I have a newfound respect for the protagonist. I had no idea Edward Carnby was such a badass. He took down an entire haunted mansion with his stupid kicks. He burned an ancient tree pirate. He killed like 1,000 zombie gangsters and another ancient pirate. Then he took down the entire Wild West, died, came back to life, turned into a fucking mountain lion, fused with his cowboy self, and took down immortal cowboys and a mech suit. Now that's quite a big list of achievements. Not a lot of characters can compete, and he's supposed to be just a regular human. But the real issue is the name. I like the name Alone in the Dark. It really fits a horror game. But if you think about it, 99% of the time it's not dark at all. It's actually super bright. But I guess calling it Super Bright Adventures of Captain Mustache wouldn't sound so spooky, especially because he only has that mustache in the first game. Oh, about an hour ago I said that I've played all of the Alone in the Dark trilogy, but also another small game. This is what I was talking about, Jack in the Dark. It was used as a promotional game and was released just before Alone in the Dark 2. It's like a 10-minute game and it goes places. It's wacky as hell. We play as the little girl from the second game, the one with the funny moveset. I know you missed her, but unfortunately she cannot dance here or make that stupid face. Instead, she has a broom. She dressed up for Halloween, but got lost in the big city and ended up locked in this store. Just shrugs it off. Now we need to find a way to get out. Look, it's One-Eyed Jack from the second game. Jack coming out of the box. Jack in the box. I get it. Anyway, it's the usual gameplay. Walk around, explore, collect items. The major difference is there's no combat here. No one is attacking the little girl. but some enemies can make her cry. They will pay. The story is bonkers, and I love it. This Jack in the Box somehow kidnapped Santa Claus, and only a witch can save him, which is her. You can find a book in a trash can which tells you about the history of the toys in this toy shop, and also about their weakness. The drums. It also tells you that the only way to defeat Jack is to give him candy and show him his own reflection. No, not this one. You explore, make a toy slip and die, make some other toys go inside of a chest, give these guys a present, and in turn they give you a present, which is the specific candy you need. I found that if you use the mirror, after he finishes his eating animation, then nothing will happen, and you're basically locked out of the ending. You have to use the mirror during his eating animation, and then this happens. He disappears. Santa is free, and he even left you a present. You go outside and wave goodbye. A little girl just accidentally got locked in a toy store and ended up saving Santa Claus on Halloween. That's neat. I don't think that ever happened to me. This was a fun little side quest. Even though it also had some randomness to it, I still liked it. The premise alone is wholesome and goofy enough for me to like it. Overall, these games are fine. They have their moments. The stories are silly but intriguing, and of course, like I said, and like a lot of people have said, these games shaped the gaming industry in more ways than one. I think it's worth taking a look at them if you're interested in the survival horror genre and how it originated, or if you're the kind of person who really likes adventure games and also really likes solving puzzles with fucking moon logic. But if not, then unfortunately I wouldn't recommend playing them. They're not really fun, and you could use the time you would have wasted on them to pet your cat or do something crazy, like go outside and touch grass.
No.
Don't look at them as games. Look at them as artifacts in a museum. They are super important, but maybe you don't really need to touch them. Can't you see the sign? I think I've rambled long enough. Next time, we'll be looking at the fourth game, Alone in the Dark, A New Nightmare. I really hope it's not going to be a nightmare. I've had enough of them for now. This took me a long time to make, too much time to make, so I really hope you enjoyed this. Maybe you've gained some appreciation for these games, or maybe parts of the video made you laugh. Thanks for watching. Here's a cat video.
Then the darkness closed in and I was alone in the dark.
Alone in the Dark is well known in the survival horror community. Everyone knows it as that game that inspired Resident Evil, which is kind of a big deal. It was a janky and kind of spooky game about a haunted Lovecraftian mansion. The sequels, not so much. And everyone who knows about it knows about the shitty reboot. We will talk about it soon, and now everyone knows that there's a new remake, and it's looking good. But before all of that, we had the old remake, a game that almost no one is talking about, Alone in the Dark, The New Nightmare, released in 2001. Resident Evil took the original Alone in the Dark and improved pretty much everything. But this time, Alone in the Dark took Resident Evil and Well, it didn't really improve anything. It's more like a Resident Evil clone. But it's a pretty good clone. It has the cool fixed camera, the tank controls, the inventory. Only here you have infinite storage, so there's no inventory management and no magical boxes. You can examine items by zooming in and rotating them, which I like. There's also an item you have to use in order to save the game. But unlike in Resident Evil, you don't have to use it in a specific place. You can use it anywhere you want, and you get so many of these that it's not even worth mentioning. So yeah, pretty much an exact copy of Resident Evil, in terms of the gameplay mechanics. Even your health display is the same. I'm not complaining. If you're going to copy something, copy from the best, especially if that something copied from you first. Maybe one of the reasons no one is talking about it is because it has a bad reputation of not working, like at all. It seems like everyone is having trouble getting it to run on modern systems. Lots of people wrote negative reviews about it because of all these technical problems, and there's lots of guides on how to make the game playable. All of that made me worry. I even considered not playing it because I didn't want to deal with all this hassle. But then, even though I have a physical copy of the game, I bought it on Steam, I pressed play, and it worked. It just worked. I didn't need to do anything. Either I'm very lucky, or everyone is just high. I think this review sums it up pretty well. The only thing I had to do was adjust my resolution, and it's very easy to do. You just type this here and you're done. The game runs perfectly fine, and I had no problems with any technical stuff. So if you didn't want to play it because you're afraid that it won't work on your PC, don't be. It will work. Probably. Before we start, the only other thing we need to change are these controls. I mean, you don't have to, but this is what I'm comfortable with. Also, you aim with the left mouse button and shoot with the right mouse button. It's supposed to be the opposite, like in any other video game. It's weird, but I got used to it. Now that we got all of that out of the way, let's get to the game itself.
Gloucester, Massachusetts, October 30th, 2001. 2100 hours.
Like in every Alone in the Dark, the game starts with Edward being in an office and getting a call about some case.
Conby, this is Fisk. I hope you had a safe trip. Now, I can already hear you ranting, but I've taken on a new case. I know, I promised I'd quit, but I was contacted by a man named Johnson to go to Shadow Island and investigate Obed Morton and the Apcanis writing tablets. Does that ring any bells? Now you understand why I couldn't say no and had to leave right away.
This probably makes you think that the man on the phone will be important, and that we are going to meet up with him. But nope, he dies.
Boston Police Department. Name Fisk. First name Charles. Date of birth February 17th, 1944. Presumed date of death October 24th, 2001.
This time it's about some ancient tablets that they want to translate. Dealing with anything ancient in these games is always a bad idea. We then see a couple of totally not suspicious men talking about sending Edward with someone to an island.
They'll be on Shadow Island in about an hour.
Carnby's a loose cannon, but we had no real choice. And the professor?
Professor Eileen Sedrak is convinced that Obed Morton is her... We had no trouble persuading her.
I must have those tablets in their translation. Is that clear, Johnson?
Perfectly, sir.
And now we meet our heroes.
Daddy?
Sedrak? Eileen? Wake up.
What? Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
Here. You'll probably need this. Do you have your radio?
Yes, I have it.
Eileen, when we get to the island, for your safety, you'd better stay close to me.
My safety? Is there any danger? I was hired to authenticate the translation of the Apcanis stones. I will be working with Professor Morton.
My best friend died because of those tablets. He was killed on Shadow Island. And I swear I'm gonna find whoever did it.
I'm very sorry. Listen, I know Professor Morton's reputation. He's a scientist, a great researcher.
Well, to me, he's just another suspect.
Basically, Edward wants to find his missing friend, and she wants to find her father, which is kind of supposed to be a plot twist later on. But, whatever. It's something that gets revealed pretty early on. And yes, this is our new Edward. This is Reboot Edward. First Reboot Edward, not this one, or the new one. And this woman, you'd think this is going to be a reimagining of Emily from the original games, right? But nope, it's a totally new character. Her name is Eileen, and she's kind of likable, but kind of an annoying brat at the same time. You'll see. Anyway, they talk about what they need to do when something attacks the plane.
What was that?
The controls are dead! Put that on! We have to jump!
We don't see what it is, but the game really tries to make us feel like we're in danger. So Edward pretends like he's shooting something, and they jump off the plane. Right off the bat, there's a major disappointment. They fucked it up in every sequel after the first game. Edward, again, does not have a mustache. 0 out of 10. Garbage. Trash. Okay. I'll just have to imagine him with one. And she kind of looks like Lara Croft. I assume this game was trying to go for that young, cool, hip, action Hollywood style. We will see some of it later. And yeah, like in the first game, we get to choose between 2 characters. Only this time, it actually matters. In the first game, it didn't really matter which one you picked. The game would stay exactly the same. Here, the game changes depending on your character, kind of like it does in Resident Evil 2. You're mostly playing through the same places and mostly fighting the same enemies, but they have some changes here and there. There are some unique environments and some unique enemies for each character. And I'm going to show you all of that by showing you both playthroughs at the same time. Characteristics? So these are the most interesting things about them. Or rather, these are the only things that are interesting about them. Eileen doesn't have a father, and Edward has a double-barrel gun. And that's all there is to know about them, apparently. That's their only sense of identity. I would say that it's sad and pathetic, but this is more interesting than most people I know. Okay, now that is sad and pathetic. Anyway...
Carnby, answer me, please!
Aline, are you okay?
How could I be okay? What was that thing? What the heck's going on here?
At the moment, I've got no idea.
Listen, I want out of here, right now!
Look, don't panic. I'll think of something. Where exactly are you?
I landed on some kind of old manor. Everything's dark. I'm really scared.
Please do something.
I landed in some woods about 100 yards from the manor. Can you see me?
See you? How could I? Help me, for Christ's sake. Turn on your flashlight. Okay, I can see you now.
Okay, I see you too. Here's what we'll do. Try and get inside the manor, then find a place to hide. I'll come looking for you.
How long will that take?
I don't know. As little time as I can.
What?
Aline, I'll come for you, and that's a promise.
Hurry.
Listen, I know you're scared, but stop asking stupid questions.
I believe Obed Morton is on the island. But everything I've seen curdles my blood. It nearly drove me out of my mind.
Yeah, well, what else?
Is that your only reaction? Or maybe you want me to carry out the entire investigation for you?
If you're gonna react like that...
I'll react whichever way I want to. Over.
Edward is way too calm, and Eileen is way too defensive. For no reason. Yeah, the dialogue can be a bit cringe. Sometimes they talk like they're action heroes in some Hollywood movie, and sometimes they talk like they're teenagers in a romantic comedy.
You have no idea how happy I am to hear your voice.
Aline, I had this strange dream. It's the first time I ever remembered one of my dreams.
Then you must be on the right track.
You seem to have acquired a taste for our adventures.
Get real. Did we step into the Twilight Zone or what?
telling you, I have no idea. Anyhow, if you hear someone calling for help, beware.
I don't understand.
You'll understand way too soon.
And sometimes they just say stupid shit.
There's a chest, locked with a chain.
I'd say that nothing's better than a pair of bolt cutters.
And just where do I find them?
Did you seriously just ask him where to find bolt cutters? Why would he know? He's just as lost as you. Stop being such a child.
Get real.
At least it gives me something to laugh about. Both of them survived the plane crash by using parachutes, and now they are stuck on Shadow Island. What kind of name is Shadow Island? What kind of edgy teenager came up with that? You know there's going to be some weird shit going on with a name like that. Anyway, they're spooky monsters and Edward has a sick gun to defend himself. A double-barreled revolver. Now that's awesome. That's cool. What does Eileen have? A flashlight? A flashlight. So, nothing. Well, you know what? I think she's going to be just fine. She brought some cake with her, and she has a big personality. Edward goes on to meet a person, which warns him about the island.
Oh my god. No, don't move. Don't move.
Leave me be. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
Who did this to you?
This island is a hellhole. Not men. Filthy beasts. Flee! Get out of here any way you can.
Yeah, I think it's too late for that.
Run.
I'll be back.
And now he's dead. While Eileen talks to an old woman.
Who are you? I do not recognize the sound of your steps.
Please help me. I've had an accident.
You should never have come here, young lady. This is not a place for you. My son, Obed, is in danger, young lady.
Obed? You mean Professor Obed Morton? Where is he?
How would I know? I haven't seen him for 3 days now. The last time he came, he entrusted me with this key. A statue in the smoking room. Take it. Shh. Listen.
He entrusted you with this key, and you're just going to give it to the first stranger you see?
Young lady, please, go have a look in the corridor. There might be a problem.
Gotcha. I need to find this Obed guy. One important thing that I want to point out is that you actually have time to adjust to the gameplay. Unlike in previous games, when I talked about the first game and the second game, and to some extent the third game, I complained about how barely 10 seconds after you start the game, you're immediately attacked by enemies, without having proper time to learn the controls. The developers learned the right lessons in this game, and here you in fact have some time to breathe and adjust, which means you have time to get used to the controls in a safe environment. They've also made the game actually spooky. Look at this oppressive darkness. Look at this build-up until the first enemy is revealed. Yeah, okay, it's just a zombie dog. Nothing too special, but still. At first I fired 3 shots at them, but then I discovered that 2 bullets are enough for them. You can leave them alone and they will bleed out. They might try to escape. I followed one because I wanted to see where it would go, but it just died. But then you get a shot of this creature, and you're like, what the hell is this? Are there monsters that are just killing the dogs? Do the enemies have a hierarchy? Where is this monster? There's that spooky build-up for you. And then it happens. No elaborate cutscene, no weird set piece. It just shows up and starts attacking. So I kill it and move on. That can't be good. I turn a valve.
I hate valve puzzles.
Another one shows up. I run out of ammo and die. There's no melee weapons in this game, which is a bit weird. So if you run out of ammo, you're pretty much screwed. I wonder what Eileen is doing right now. Now this is the true Alan Wake experience. After seeing this, you'd think that she will be able to kill monsters with the flashlight, but no other monster dies from it. Some of them might jump away, but that's it. Meaning, she's defenseless. Meaning, we have to get a gun. But where can we find? Oh, there's one. Now we can finally kick some ass. But before we get the gun, we hear a suspicious conversation.
Did you hear something?
I want you to answer me.
I swear, I heard something.
Quit stalling. Did you talk about our research to this Mr. Lamb, yes or no?
Well, how do you think I was able to find all those guinea pigs for you?
That's your problem.
Oh, no. It's not my problem. It's our problem.
Listen carefully, Obed. I've been putting up with your whining and your cowardice for years, but it's over now. You've known my goals from the beginning, and nobody, especially not me, forced you into following me.
So one of them was Obed, the man we came here to find. After we get the gun, we see him running away.
Professor Morton!
One random thing that I want to point out is that before we got the gun, this door was locked. But after she got it and killed the monster, it unlocked without using a key or anything. It was just locked for no in-game reason, and that happens a few times in the game. It's kind of breaking my immersion when I see that the game doesn't want me to progress until I do a specific thing, in this case picking up the revolver. This happens a few times in the game, but I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and say that it's just the supernatural power of this place. Anyway, going after him wasn't such a good idea.
What are you doing here?
I came to talk to you.
To talk to me? Young lady, one doesn't come to Shadow Island to talk. Talking is useless here.
He fucking shot her, but it didn't do any damage. Somehow. I guess the jacket took the hit, because it's gone now. Instead of actually killing her, he just put her on a nice comfy bed. You could have at least taken her gun. Is this your first time killing someone? Come on.
Carnby? Carnby, answer me.
Aline, I thought you were dead.
I did too. I'm not cut out for this kind of place. I want this to stop right now.
I understand.
You understand? You understand? You don't understand anything.
I don't know what you, Johnson, or Professor Morton want with me, but all I want is for this nightmare to end right now.
Look, get a grip on yourself. Where are you?
In some room. Obed Morton drugged me and then locked me in here. And I tried to help him.
Sounds like your wonderful professor might not be so wonderful after all. Don't move, I'm coming.
Is that the best you can do?
Yes, that's the best I can do.
Well, okay then.
Hurry up.
God, stop being such a bitch. Yeah, your father just shot you and took off some of your clothes, which is super creepy. But don't yell at Edward. He's literally doing his best. And he just fought some stinky sewer monster, which was super easy by the way. Just don't go near the exit until you kill it. Edward also found this sweet triple-barreled shotgun. Back in the 90s, we had the double barrel, a classic. Mwah, chef's kiss. Right now, we have the quad barrel, the quadruple barrel, but in between, we had a triple barrel. Makes sense. Oh, and we get a classic early 2000s jump scare.
No.
Ooh, spooky. Was that real, or was that just a hallucination? It was a hallucination. It's literally the same jump scare like in that one game that makes you cry in real life, because it makes you think that you lost your save file, which is the biggest jump scare ever. Bring eternal darkness to Steam, you cowards. While waiting for Edward, she finds her own shotgun, and she overhears Obed having a conversation with someone.
Lamb? Is that you? Don't overdo it. Did you receive the documents? Stop it. You sound like Alan. You have no idea what is going on here. 2 agents will never stand a chance. What we need is the entire army. You're a downright bastard.
And then he gets punched, which is entertaining.
No, don't do it. Let me explain.
After that, she runs back. What was that? After that, she runs back and she hears something moving on the other side. Edward pushes a closet and is finally reunited with Eileen.
At last. I want you to tell me what's going on.
I don't know yet, but I do love your new outfit. Makes you look less,
Yes, I know.
Here, I got your stuff.
Thanks.
What stuff did he bring her? He literally didn't give her anything. And what do you mean, you know?
Listen, I should never have agreed to let you come along.
I have my own reasons for being here. I haven't done too bad up till now, and I sure don't intend to spend whatever time I have left doing nothing. I want to know.
What? What? You're the one who was bitching about how you don't want to be here and that you want to go home. Now you're saying that you do want to be here? Make up your mind, woman.
Just before, I heard this voice above us. There's a trap door. If you help me, I can reach it.
Why not stick together?
You and I don't have the same goals.
Oh, and now you want to split up. Because that's always a good idea in horror stories. Oh shit, this is the same place where all those monsters attacked her. Spooky. I'm going to save. And there's nothing here. Except for save items. For now there's not much fighting. Because it's Indian time.
I know who you are and what you have come looking for. I was expecting you.
Just stay where you are. Don't move an inch. Who are you?
They call me Edenshaw. I am the guardian of this island.
The guardian? Guardian of what? And what are all these monsters? What the heck's going on here?
Professor Morton has definitely crossed the threshold.
Look, can't you spell it out? What is this mess?
Finally! A protagonist that actually asks direct questions, like, what the hell is going on? In a lot of games, it's like, something weird is going on, maybe, but I'm not really going to ask about it. No, ask direct questions. I, for one, appreciate you, Edward.
Take this charm. It will prevent you from falling into oblivion with all the others. Go, fulfill your destiny. Save us.
Okay, that's about enough of this. Oh, God.
So, he wasn't very helpful. At least he gave us this. Now I have even more save items. Remember how I said that there was no fighting? Well, now we get to fight these beautiful bastards. They're everywhere now, and sometimes they even respawn. They might look tough, but they're easy to deal with. Just don't run out of ammo. Is this a Half-Life reference? Edward finds some clues, fights some tiny enemies, and finds a grenade launcher, which is just lying around in this attic. Eileen, on the other hand, found a talking mirror.
Holy shit!
Who'd have ever believed my fate could be in the hands of a woman? You found out how to speak to the mirrors. I know what you are seeking, and I can help you find it. We all need to know where we come from. We all need to know where the blood racing through our veins comes from. So I, Judas Deserto, I shall strike a deal with you. Edenshaw, the old witch doctor, stole my mirror. Should you bring it back to me, I shall raise the veil that hides your past from you.
Yeah, okay, Mirror Man. I'm sure that listening to you will be a really lovely thing to do. Eileen also finds a grenade launcher and a mirror. I can only guess where she puts it. She brings it to the Mirror Man.
Give me the mirror. Now.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. You seem really nice and trustworthy and all. So, okay, I'll give it to you. Whoops. Oh, it slipped. Oh, I'm sorry. But it's okay, because it's Indian time again.
Let me congratulate you, young woman. for I admire your courage.
But who are you?
They call me Edenshaw. Time is running short. I, who am the last witch doctor, I ask for your help. My forefathers showed me the Abcanis ritual that can destroy the heart of darkness. I must carry it out tonight, or else it will be too late for the human race.
But what can I do?
We must find the 7 statues of our 7 gods of light. Only then can I carry out the ritual.
I promise to help you. But how am I going to recognize them?
Each of the 7 gods has a holy animal companion. The statues represent these companions.
But Edenshaw? Edenshaw?
Why did she randomly turn around?
Carnby, I talked with Edenshaw. I'm sure he's Abcanis.
Good for him.
Do you think we can trust him?
I met him too. He seemed to know a lot more than he said. But I don't think we have much of a choice anyhow.
He needs 7 statues to carry out a ritual.
Did he tell you that?
No, he told me he was fresh out of strawberry sherbet. Carnby, of course he told me that.
Well, why doesn't he go looking for them?
Great question.
Can't we help him?
Sure.
Oh, you're not gonna answer that? Oh, okay.
Carnby, I'm sure it's really important.
I know. We'll find his statues for him. But after that, we're going home.
And where is your home?
I don't know yet.
What do you mean you don't know? You forgot your address? Was that supposed to be some philosophical metaphor or something? This dialogue is stupid, but now we have a clear goal. Find some animal statues and give them to the old Indian. Something that I found funny was that it seems like the game really wants you to speedrun Eileen's campaign. Every time you complete an objective, like talking to someone or finding an important item, the game teleports her to the grandma. It's like the game is saying, just forget about the backtracking. Let me just put you where you need to be. Which is not the case for Edward. He needs to do a lot of backtracking, which is typical in a game like this, which is why his campaign is longer. I'm skipping some story stuff because they're not that important or interesting. The basic gist of it is that Obed Morton, the asshole who shot Eileen, who is also her father, allegedly, has a brother named Ellen, and this grandma is their mother.
Alan, that horrid beast is my son no longer. We have very little hope left. Our family bears a dark secret, young lady, and Alan is the cause of it. Enough! Leave me now! I'm weary and wish to sleep. Besides, all in all, I find you very unpleasant.
Well, that was a bit rude. How can you say that all of this is unpleasant? I mean, how can you say that she's unpleasant? I mean, what was I talking about? Alan killed his father and experimented on him because he wants to create some ultimate dark shadow creature, which is totally normal. We can find a recording of his experiments. Don't watch it if you're afraid of needles. He's literally injecting darkness into him. We also get to see it live later on. But before that, we need to find a Japanese tentacle monster. And also our first boss, which attacks you while you're in the middle of this book puzzle. Before this fight, I found a rocket launcher, so I tried to use it and the grenade launcher against the boss, but I missed at least half of my shots. I ran out of ammo and had to restart. Then I found out that you can use something called free aim, which lets you walk while aiming, which is cool. It's the only game in this fixed camera genre that I've seen with this mechanic. Well, besides Silent Hill. In most of these games you're stuck in place while aiming. But the important part is that when you press the free aim button, which is not the regular aim button, you will lock onto the enemy, which means you are not going to miss. So I use it and I land every single shot, but somehow that still wasn't enough. So I started thinking to myself, there's no way it can survive that many explosions to the face. Is it immortal? Am I not supposed to fight it? It looks like I'm supposed to fight it, so I get frustrated and go to the wiki of this game, and I learn that he has regenerating health. So I say fuck it and ignore him, which is surprisingly easy. I do the puzzle and I'm happy, but now I can't get out and I'm sad. The game literally doesn't let you out until you kill the boss. It's not like the doors are locked, the game just hates you. So I'm upset, thinking I'd have to go to a previous save and do all of this again. But again, I say fuck it and try to kill it one last time. Maybe it will work, somehow. And somehow it does work. I killed him. I think the difference was that this time I dealt more damage in a smaller time frame, so he couldn't regenerate fast enough. I dealt more DPS, poop bus. All of my troubles were worth it though, because someone put a plasma cannon inside of a painting in a spooky mansion, on a spooky island. There are so many high-powered weapons on this island. I don't even think the military has so much advanced firepower. And that's not even all of the weapons in this game. Edward then used Half-Life to break this wall, and also to speak to the grandma, which doesn't go so well.
You're back.
Back? Who are you talking about?
But who are you?
The name's Carnby, Edward Carnby, and I'm here to help you.
Do not lie to me. You are here for something else. Are you with the young lady?
Aline? Do you know where she is?
Oh, she is most probably dead by now. You know, Mr. Carnby, of all those who set foot on the island, few ever got away. I know you have come to harm my sons.
No, you've got me all wrong. What about you?
I am already dead. Go to hell!
She is surrounded by candles to scare off the monsters. I wanted to shoot her, but I didn't want to waste bullets. Why did I want to shoot her? She's gonna die anyway, soon enough. What does it matter? Eileen also has a boss fight in the library, but this one is a bit different.
Is this?
That's right. This is the ultimate life form. Tyrant! What? Don't come this way!
No! You can't kill me!
Oh shit, this is going to be tough. Actually, no, it's easy. After the fight, Eileen gets teleported again. And it's weird that she's not saying something like, "Oh, I'm teleporting. That's cool." I guess she got used to it. We have our last conversation with Grandma.
I knew you would be back. Were you able to speak with Obed?
Not yet, but I know now that he's alive for sure. I've got to tell you, your sons are monsters.
Oh no. The true monster is this island.
No, I'm pretty sure they're monsters for what they're doing. For now, it's only figuratively.
You must know, young lady. Tonight is a special night. As for me, I shall let myself be carried away.
May I ask you one last thing?
Go ahead.
Your son, Obed, did he ever talk to you about... did he ever tell you he had a child? A daughter?
Obed, a child? But with whom? Obed was never interested in anything apart from his accursed Indians. Why such a question?
For no reason. No reason at all. Don't worry. I'll bring him back to you.
Now go in peace.
Wait, so if Obed is actually Eileen's father, does that mean that she's her grandmother? Okay, bye grandma, see you on the other side. She then goes back to the main hall and has a conversation with Edward.
Who is Obed Morton?
To you.
I have good reason to believe that that Obed Morton is...
My father.
If that's a joke, it sure isn't funny.
The dates coincide, and I was shown a picture.
So that's why you agreed to come to the island?
And also for the Epcanis writing tablets.
Epcanis tablets, my...
Foot.
Whoa there, Edward. Watch your language, you naughty boy.
But why didn't you write to him, for crying out loud? Why rush straight over here?
I want to hear it from his own mouth.
Actually, I guess I understand.
After that, Eileen finally manages to get outside of the mansion. Oh shit! He was just standing there. He really is like the tyrant. And like Mr. X, he's gonna give it to ya. Okay, he's more like a frog. Gonna give it to you. You cannot hurt him, you just have to run away. He chases her around with some dogs, who are really hard to kill for some reason, but it's fine, we just need to get inside. There's a cool little flashlight puzzle. Not the kind of flashlight you're thinking about. We do the flashlight puzzle and it leads us outside. Not only does she look like Lara Croft, she is Lara Croft. They both like to climb on things. I'm not really talking about the puzzles, because they're mostly the same. I mean, they're fine, and some of them require more interactivity from the player, but the solution is usually reading a book and finding the necessary information in there. And on that note, I really appreciate how the developers marked the important parts in red. They appreciate your time and they don't want you to waste hours searching for the info you need. But it's still there if you are interested in the backstory and lore of the game. So that's cool. As much as this game leans more on the action side, it doesn't forget its puzzle roots. It still retains the adventure aspects of the original games. Meanwhile, Edward also managed to get outside by solving a picture puzzle and getting the entrance key. Now we finally get to use this bad boy. Yeah, take that. Oh, we're back here. And boy oh boy, this place sure is lively right now. I don't really feel alone in the dark. I'm gonna avoid them, don't want to waste ammo. Sir, I do not want to hug you. We use an item to unlock a gate and... I think something bad happened here. Can't quite put my finger on it. I also don't really want to put my finger on it. Edward kills some more monsters until he gets to a swamp. Oh no, I do not like this, but I do like this. This is good. Isn't that right, Mr. Skeleton? Usually in video games, I like to conserve ammo for the bigger guns, but I just picked up a lot of ammo for it, so might as well use it. Hey, it's our plane.
Hey!
What? He was alive this whole time?
Where am I? Stop jerking around. Let me try and get you out of here. My legs! The radio is dead. Everything will be okay. Everything will be just fine. But the plane's sinking! I'm telling you, everything will be okay.
Edward is very optimistic. Everything will be fine, huh, Edward? Oh shit, there's a timer. Now there isn't. Did you just leave him to die? Why are you such a bastard, Edward? You just told him not to worry. What is Eileen doing right now? Oh, well, at least I'm not in a sewer or something like that. Oh, after one-shotting a sewer monster, Eileen talks to her father again.
The creatures will indulge in massacres that even all the armies of the world could never stop. Nothing can save us from the darkness now. You too should prepare to die.
Stop! Stop! I only want to find out if you knew Mary Cedric. Mary Cedric. Mary! Are you sure you never knew Mary Cedric? Are you sure you're not my father?
Me? Your father? I don't know who put that foolish idea in your mind. But let me tell you, that is simply impossible. Let me gather myself. But I can see.
Well, he's gone insane, but at least she knows that he's not her father. Which means she doesn't know anything about her real father, she has no hope in finding him, and all of this was pointless. Yay! Trauma! At least this time he doesn't shoot her.
Were you able to see Obed Morton?
Yes. I think he's totally lost his mind.
I get the feeling you never got an answer to your questions.
Oh, I did. He can't be my father. But I suppose I already knew that.
What got you thinking he was in the first place?
Johnson did. He showed me a picture of Obed Morton and my mother. The dates coincided.
Johnson, you asshole! Johnson, who is the one who hired Edward and Eileen, lied about Obed being her father, just so he could convince her to get to this island. That sucks, but no one really cares, Eileen. You need to help Edward with the ritual, because somehow they know how to perform an ancient Indian ritual. While Eileen was having her mental breakdown, Edward managed to get to a ritual site, but he needs some directions from Eileen. To get those directions, she needs to use this planetarium device. She needs to enter today's date, which you can find in the opening cutscene, but also on the note she received from Johnson the asshole. The note that told her about her father. She enters the date and somehow it affects the entire universe. And I'm not joking about that. Planets are actually moving because of this. Okay, Edward, no matter what kind of ritual you will perform, I do not think you can top that.
Aline? Have you come up with anything? Because I'm freezing my nuts off out here.
Let me try and help you. Go to the North Stella.
I'm at the North Stella.
Go to the Southeast Stella and call me back. Okay. West Stella.
Are we going to go on much longer like this?
Do you want to try out your incantation or not?
That's what I'm here for.
I'm not sure if I actually need to do this, or if she's just trolling me.
So, go to the Southwest Stella.
Okay.
East Stella?
I'm at the East Stella. I'm starting to feel this isn't funny anymore.
Spoil sport, we're nearly there. Northeast Stella.
I think she is trolling me.
Northeast Stella.
Okay. And now back to the Southeast Stella.
What? I hope you're not pulling my leg here.
If you don't want my help anymore.
Okay, hey, don't get all touchy now. Southeast Stella.
Hang in there, Carnby. The Southwest Stella, and it's over.
Now Edward can finally perform the ritual, and you'd think he'd need a book called Sacrificial Ritual, but no, he actually needs this recording we found like 3 hours ago. It tells us which words to say and in what order to say them. And now, the ritual is complete, and we get a stone, and a stone statue. Well, that was anticlimactic. I mean, I know they need a statue, and that other stone will be useful soon, but still, something more exciting should have happened after all of that build-up.
So, Mr. Witch Doctor, how about that ritual?
Yeah, you won't be laughing when I tell you I recovered a statue and some kind of stone disc.
A disc that's about
10 inches wide?
That's right.
I need it. We absolutely have to meet right away.
She really wants those 10 inches. What? Get your head out of the gutter. It's nothing like that. She just needs it so she can shove it deep inside of this hole. You know what? Let's just move on. They decided to meet up to make an exchange, and Eileen gets chased by Mr. X again, who gives up really quickly. You just go over this fence and he's like, oh no, that's too much for me. I'm gonna go now. They meet up and have this awkward conversation.
I'm warning you. I won't hesitate to shoot.
Aline?
You scared the daylights out of me. I almost shot you.
You scared the daylights out of me.
Sorry.
Do I detect a regret?
Stop kidding. I have the impression that all this is getting us nowhere. I found nothing but scraps of information, pieces of a puzzle that don't fit together. Like this seal.
A seal? Show me.
Not so fast. Do you have the stone disc?
Oh, I appreciate your confidence.
Sorry, but I've learned to be suspicious of everything.
Whether you like it or not, we're partners, and we don't have time to waste.
Okay then, if talking to me is such a waste of time...
That's not what I meant.
That's what I meant. I meant that. I really did.
But it is what you said.
Oh, come on. Stop whining.
Here's the seal. Give me the stone disc. I need it.
Okay, but I want to tell you that I really admire your courage.
And only my courage?
We'll see about the rest some other time. Go on. Good luck.
You too, Carnby.
Depending on the character you play, their conversations will be a bit different, but it's mostly the same.
Stop kidding. Do you have the stone disc we talked about?
And what will you give me in exchange?
Edward is such a smooth talker.
I see you're a real smooth talker, Carnby.
She gives him a ring that she found earlier, and he gives her the stone disc. She then shoves it inside of the hole. Okay, you can laugh. She gets a stone statue from it, and now we only need one more.
Carnby, you're so helpful that sometimes I have the feeling I couldn't do without you.
Aline, let's stop wasting more time.
Edward is tired of her bullshit. I then use the ring she gave me, which of course leads me to a secret underground lab, just like in a Resident Evil game. Why why are you backing away? Yeah, there are some screaming, but that's hardly new or scary at this point. And here, in this creepy dungeon, we finally have that meeting with Ellen I was talking about earlier. Look at this stealth.
It's that structure that I need to extract and inject. Who goes there?
Well, that didn't last long. You suck at stealth, Edward.
Alan, don't even think about it.
I could have gotten rid of you a dozen times at least. When my friends are done with you, your body will still come in handy for me.
Ellen, you asshole. Get back here. Did Edward just let him escape? The door wasn't that close to him. You could have at least tried to shoot him. What the fuck, man?
You could answer when I call.
And you. Shut up.
He hightailed it out of there and cut off the power supply. I'm stuck here in the dark.
You mean you are alone? In the dark?
The doorway's blocked with metal bars. Alan must have set up an automatic locking system.
Wait, I've got a problem.
What?
The locking mechanism is outside of the lab.
Aline, we have to find a solution. Maybe if I turn all these devices back on...
We could provoke an overload and free up the door.
Okay, let's try it.
Oh my god, this fucking dialogue.
Follow the wall to the left of the door to find them.
Okay, it's a real house of horrors in here.
Sometimes I kind of like it, but sometimes it's just cringe.
Thanks, Aline. You're a lifesaver.
Try not to make a habit out of it.
Either I somehow missed it, or this part just doesn't happen in the Eileen campaign, because she conveniently finds a map of this place and guides Edward to the exit. This is a genuinely creepy section. You're in an actually dark environment, and there's no one around just long enough that you start thinking that you're safe. But then, boom, a monster shows up. And then it disappears. And then, boom, jump scare. This game doesn't have a lot of jump scares, but when they happen, they are quite effective. Edward finally gets out of the lab dungeon, and after running away from like 50 spider things, he finds a recording of Obed's conversation, the one where he got punched by Ellen. But now there's a bit more context. It reveals that Obed was cooperating with Lamb all of this time, which is that evil bald guy from the opening. He's the employer of our employer. And yeah, you can immediately tell that he's the antagonist pulling the strings. I mean, listen to his voice.
As of now, you are of no more use to me.
Lamb? Lamb!
I must have those tablets in their translation. Is that clear, Johnson?
Apparently, he got the translations he needed, so he doesn't need Obed anymore. So he abandoned him. And then Obed got punched in the face. Meanwhile, Eileen operates some machinery that raises a giant rocket. This doesn't look like something she should just casually do. Oh Jesus, stop being a creepy stalker. You're hungry. You want her cake. I get it, but stop it. Go back to Resident Evil. Just like before, you cannot hurt him. Unless that rocket somehow attracts lightning. You have to make him jump right as the lightning hits this very specific spot. There's also a timer, which I assumed would kill me when it reaches 0. I managed to get him right at the end, but it wasn't enough, and I thought I would die because the time ran out. But then I just activate the machine again, and it resets the timer, which makes the timer completely pointless. He gets shocked 2 more times and is out. Eileen then runs away all the way to this place and uses a high-powered machine, an advanced weapon she constructed from various parts, and the power of God's lightning. She uses all of that to blow a hole in the wall. And after firing just 1 shot, the machine is destroyed. I mean, explosions are cool and all, but I expected something more impressive after all that effort. At least we find this cool weapon, which also shoots lightning. Man, what's with all the electricity? Soon, Edward will also find this gun, but not before talking with Edenshaw again.
Quick! Alan is about to perform the ritual that opens the gate. I can feel it.
If you want me to hurry, then why are you stopping me?
But can't you do something to stop him?
I am too old. I do not have...
Hey, don't quit on us now. We still need you. What are we supposed to do?
Recover the last statues and meet me in my people's sanctuary. That is where the gate is located. With some luck, we might get there before Alan does.
Why did you keep on working for the Mortons so long, without ever doing anything?
Have you never said to yourself, the time has not yet come? Well, that is what I told myself for 50 years. But now I know that my time has come.
I think everyone who worked at a shitty job and wanted to quit said that very thing to themselves. Instead of quitting immediately, they say that it's not time yet. That happened to me too. But it didn't take me 50 fucking years to make the decision to quit. Were you just sitting in your room with your thumb up your butt for all this time?
You are here because a god meant you to be.
No, I'm actually here because of some dead friend and 2 dickheads who are my employers.
Oh yes, I know. You came to Shadow Island for your friend.
Oh yeah, what about him?
I too came here, Mr. Carnby. And since then, my dreams are like books in which the future is written. But not my future, yours.
Are you still trying to be cryptic, even this late into the game? Man, I feel like I'm doing an everything wrong with blank game video. I know that it seems like I'm shitting on this game. I mean, I kind of am, but overall I like it. I was pleasantly surprised by it. A few minutes after I started the game, I already knew that I was going to like it more than the others in this franchise. But now it's time for another reunion.
Oh, I see we both reached the same point.
We don't have much time, we gotta hurry. Or else our sacrifice will be useless.
Now you're talking like a native.
I feel like I've been entrusted with a mission.
Yeah, welcome to the club.
Stop being so dramatic.
There's a stela with some inscriptions over there. I'd like to know what it says. Follow me.
How do you know that? This is the first time you're in this place. Am I missing something? Eileen knows how to translate this bullshit, and she does it with this hand motion. I can't kill her. Not that I wanted to. I just wanted to try. After her translation session, we move on. It doesn't matter who you play as. In both campaigns, you will reach this trapdoor with lots of goodies. And another type of lightning gun. Why does a spooky island have so much advanced weaponry here? I'm not complaining. Also, when a game gives you so much free stuff, there's usually a boss fight coming up. Or at least that's what I thought, so I saved the game. I think I have enough safe items, but no, there's no boss fight. Instead, we get this wonderful cutscene.
I'm begging you, Alan. You have no idea of the consequences of what you're about to do.
Yeah, I don't think that after 50 years of this bullshit, he will suddenly start listening to you.
For years now you've been watching me, expecting this moment, just so you could see if your powers of witchcraft were still alive. But it's too late. You should have come begging long ago. You and I know that today's the day, or the night, actually. You're shaking. Yet you're like all the others, fascinated.
Come on, enough with the evil monologue. Either let me kill you, or just do your stupid ritual already.
My research has paid off. I have created a new being, a being with no conscience, no feelings, no pain. A being who will know neither doubt nor hope.
You're describing exactly how I feel while listening to your yapping. Just get on with it.
I know what this statue represents, and that is why I am taking it with me. Don't expect me to let you have that happy end. Get out of my way.
That was so lame. There's not even a sound of him falling.
I know not what brought you here, but you too shall soon experience the taste of darkness and oblivion. It is time for darkness to spill out across the world.
Oh no, don't try and stop him or anything. It's not like he wants to destroy the world or anything. It's not like he literally has his back turned and you can easily shoot him or anything. No. Oh, now you're trying to stop him. Was this also part of your master plan? Getting sucked into a literal shadow realm? God damn, these are some of the most incompetent protagonists I've ever seen.
I am begging you, do not give up. If I do not recover the 7th statue, we are all doomed.
But Carnby is dead. I'll never be able to make it on my own.
Your friend is not dead. If he were dead, it would mean the gods of light have given up on us, and then we would have no choice but to kneel down and wait for the shadows. Believe me, Conby is not dead.
Okay, I believe you.
He wants to make the seventh statue disappear in the depths of the shadows, thus preventing me from carrying out the ritual.
So he carried out this whole spectacle just to hide the last statue? He could have just, I don't know, hide it under his pillow or throw it in the ocean? They are literally on an island surrounded by water. I'm pretty sure throwing it in the water requires less effort than performing a ritual of darkness. She goes after Edward. Edward had to be pulled into the Shadow Realm with spooky magic, but I guess she can just walk in there. Okay, you know how I just called it a Shadow Realm? It is that, but it's more like being stuck inside of the Alien movies. I mean, look at this. It's cool, I guess.
I think Ridley Scott's gonna sue somebody.
What are you talking about? Let me touch your skin.
You know what else is cool? This lightning gun. By far the best weapon in the game. It stuns enemies and kills them pretty quickly. It has a lot of ammo. And what makes it even better is that for some reason I can reload my battery with these crystals. And these crystals are everywhere in this place. And they respawn. So basically I have infinite ammo. Thanks, Walter. But even still, the enemies can stun like me. No, I'm having Alone in the Dark PTSD flashbacks. No, get out of here. I have infinite ammo. Eventually, Edward finds Ellen.
And now, you die.
Alan, no, don't!
The transitions from cutscene to gameplay are so abrupt and anticlimactic.
Aline?
Carnby?
Alan just tried to kill me.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Nor the last. I'm starting to believe in my guardian angel.
Don't you think it's more like the gods of light?
No doubt. No doubt at all.
What was the point of that conversation? He just called to complain about what happened to him 3 seconds ago. Like she's his mother or something. This is why I'm not showing you some of the conversations. Because they're filled with unimportant shit like this. Sometimes they try to be philosophical, instead of hurrying the fuck up.
The life I lead doesn't leave much time for relationships.
But what is it that drives you so?
For several hours now, we've been fighting powers that are beyond us. We've been pitted against a force that threatens to destroy our world, and yet you ask what drives me?
But no one's forcing you to do this.
You mean to say that I enjoy it? I guess you're right.
Sometimes they try to be romantic.
You know, of course I would have preferred this to happen in other circumstances, but I'm still very happy to have met you.
Had it been in other circumstances, you'd never have stooped to speaking to me.
I appreciate your truthfulness.
Eileen, can I ask this? Is there someone significant in your life?
Not really, or actually several people would be more precise.
Aha, I see.
And what is it that you see?
That you still haven't found your soulmate.
Nice save, Mr. Carnby.
I mean, it's nice that you can have optional dialogue, and you can see how their connection is getting stronger, especially towards the end. But it's mostly cringy filler.
If the future ever lets us, I hope you'll surprise me in other ways.
And what would that mean?
Oh, I'm sure you must have other qualities.
Surely not those you'd expect of a woman.
But sometimes the conversations are actually important. Like this one.
Carnby? Johnson here.
What?
This is Johnson, Frederick Johnson.
But what the...
I've been listening in on your radio transmissions.
You damn... You better tell me what happened to Fisk, and I mean now.
I don't know for sure. I believe Lamb terminated him.
But what for?
Carnby, there's something you must know. I work, or actually I used to work, for the government. I was ordered to infiltrate Christopher Lamb's organization. But my boss was taken off the case. Someone double-crossed us, and my cover was blown.
Bullshit. Just tell me about Fisk.
I believe Lamb got rid of your friend because he knew too much about Shadow Island and the Mortons.
And you just let the bastard do it?
I didn't know what was going on, but even if I had, I couldn't have done a thing. Do you have the tablets?
Are you joking or are you just stupid? Don't tell me you didn't know Lamb has already retrieved the translation.
This is worse than I thought.
Just do your job and let me do mine. Over.
Now there's suddenly a government conspiracy plot, which was very popular back in the day, I think. It's still kind of popular. So, yeah, if it wasn't obvious yet, Johnson tricked us into coming to this place. But he's not entirely evil. Eileen also talks with him.
This is Johnson.
What? Johnson? How dare you?
I just spoke to Carnby.
You are such a scumbag! Making me think Obed Morton was my father!
I had no other choice. Lamb absolutely wanted you to go to Shadow Island. At first, I believed it concerned the tablets. But then I realized he only wanted to get rid of Carnby and you. Because you were the last two people who might get in his way. Carnby told me Lamb had the translation. I gather you know what that means.
Yes, that he has the power of opening the gates of darkness.
The gates of darkness. I discovered that Lamb has located 2 other gates.
No, that's not possible. Tell me this isn't happening.
The helicopter pilot tells me we'll reach you before sunrise. I'm begging you, don't give up on us now.
I want to break your jaw so bad there's no way I'm giving up yet.
Don't forget what she said about breaking his jaw. Also, I never understood why evil people in media want to open gates to evil dimensions. Even if the monster won't kill them, which they will kill everyone on the planet. And then what? What will those bad guys do on an empty planet? Wait, that actually sounds nice.
Alan, no, wait! Oh, damn.
Why are you so incompetent, Edward? Why would you think you would actually stop and wait? And I just noticed his eye patch. Am I dealing with pirates again? So many questions. I forgot to show you this part, which, oh, I just can't anymore. Just watch.
If I had any time to spare, I'd congratulate you for your courage, but I'm running late. And it's also way too late for you, like for the others.
Just fucking shoot him.
Nothing can stop me now.
Look what you did to your brother.
Obed? But...
This is so stupid. I guess that works too. Eventually both characters reach the final area. There's infinite ammo and infinite health. Thanks game, you're really trying to cheer me up. Especially after Alone in the Dark 3. Edward faces off against Alan, who sadly didn't die when he fell, but instead he transformed. And he really likes to throw me around. He really likes doing it. So I shoot at him a lot, and eventually he goes down, only to get up again. The only way to truly kill him is by going here and using this magical spear. But if you go here, he will just teleport and kill you. This was my second death in the game, which goes to show you that this game isn't really hard. The game is way easier than it might seem, especially when compared to the originals. You don't have to quick save every 10 seconds. What you actually need to do here is to first damage him enough to make him fall, and then you can grab the spear. But you don't just grab the spear. You turn into an Indian and kill him in one shot. Obviously, of course. That was cool and all, but I don't think you needed to change your outfit for that. Maybe Edward really likes to cosplay. Well, that was easy. Now I can finally get the final statue. Meanwhile, Eileen faced off against Obed, which looks kind of cool and reminds me of William Birkin from RE2 with that little head on his body.
My little baby girl!
Stop!
Don't listen to him! Shoot! Shoot!
Oh my god!
Daughter, Would you dare shoot your own father?
You're not my father! Nobody's my father!
At first, I didn't understand what I needed to do. Obviously, I tried shooting him a lot, but that didn't work, and eventually I died. Then I realized you can win with one hit. You need to wait for him to lower the little head, and then you need to hit it, and that causes him to retreat. Then this cutscene happens.
Go on. Run. I shall hold them back.
But what about you?
Why is he only using his left arm?
I am a man. I am a child of the light.
Oh look, he used his right arm.
Come!
The good person inside of him tries to do the right thing by rescuing Eileen and saving her from all of these monsters. Well, she could have just run away, and he barely took like 3 monsters with him, but I guess he really wanted to make that heroic sacrifice. After that heavy and emotional scene, both characters finally gather all of the statues and put them in their place.
I have the statue!
Aline, over here! Everything's about to collapse! Run for it!
Or just keep walking. No rush, it's fine. That door just opened with no animation. It's finally time to get out of here.
I saw a helicopter on the west shore. You haven't a second to waste. Hurry, because the sun will be rising soon.
But, and you?
I can now fulfill my destiny, thanks to you. I am most grateful. Now go.
Where did you get that jacket? Remember what she said about breaking his jaw?
I want to break your jaw so bad.
Well, you sure had that coming.
The Indian wizard performs his ritual, and somehow it saves the world, even though it looks like everything is being destroyed. It would be pretty funny if he lied, and the ritual actually kills everyone. That would be an epic prank. Also, he waited 50 years to do that. The game ends with some ominous words from Lamb.
Miss Wallace, you can send Fishburne his nice little reward.
He still has those tablet translations. Can't he just open more portals to the Shadow Realm? Does the Indian ritual prevent him from using that translations? I guess this part was supposed to be a cliffhanger and a sequel bait, but then the game just quit to desktop. I guess a dark screen is the most fitting ending for a game called Alone in the Dark. Overall, I enjoyed this game. Maybe it's not super amazing and innovative, but like I said, it's my favorite in the series so far, and it will probably stay that way. At least until I get to the remake, that is, the new remake. Also, to my surprise, there's a comic which is a prequel to the game. It looks cool, but from what I've seen, it only complicates the story. So, read it if you want. This was a good Resident Evil clone. A watered down version of Resident Evil, but still good. It lacks the challenge and the meaningful exploration, but it also removes some of the frustration. It provides you with a good, solid experience, with some spooky monsters and satisfying weapons. The story is goofy, but it had entertaining moments, but I'm still salty about the no mustache thing. Speaking of no mustache, next time we'll talk about the old remake, which is the second remake. Or reboot. Oh, whatever, who cares? We all know it's bad. I don't think it's a secret, but I still want to play it, if only for the formality. Who knows, maybe I'll like it somehow. Who am I kidding? The only thing I like doing is make fun of it. Oh, and for anyone who cares, I know my videos have been coming out really slowly, like once every month and a half, which is obviously not ideal. The next video will come out much sooner, probably in 2 weeks. I hope. Thanks for watching. Here's a cat video.
Aline? Have you come up with anything? Because I'm freezing my nuts off out here.
Everyone who'd meant anything was gone. Like so many times before, I'd found myself alone, locked on a course of destruction.
And fuck you anyway!
Alone in the Dark is one of the most influential gaming series of all time. The original games can be clunky and frustrating, but they were extremely innovative at the time. It's already been 30 years, the next game didn't do anything new, but it was fun, spooky, and it played well.
Have you come up with anything? Because I'm freezing my nuts off out here.
Well, you sure had that coming.
And now we finally arrived at this point in time. Welcome to the most controversial game in the franchise.
Oh my god!
I wanted to call it the most hated Alone in the Dark game, but that award goes to this pile of garbage, and that is the only time I'll mention it. No, this game isn't really hated. Well, it kind of is, but kind of isn't. I don't hate it, for the most part. I mostly hate some things towards the end, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyone who played this game knows too well how bad it can get, but no matter what people say about it, or how much I'm going to complain about it, just know that it's way better than some of the shit stains we got in 2023. You know what I'm talking about. Red Fail, Gollum, Rise of Dung, and the scam before. Hetfu. At least Alone in the Dark has some interesting ideas, and it's playable. Kind of. Eventually. This is a very special game in the series. People don't really hate it, but people don't want to play it either. Not just because it's janky as hell, but mainly because it won't even work. Let's quickly get the technical stuff out of the way. First of all, what the fuck is this? I don't think there's a single other game on Steam that does this. Even though I bought the game on Steam, it still asks me to put in a CD key. Remember those? I was at a loss at first, but after digging a bit, I found that you need to go here and you'll find your CD key. Then you copy and paste it here and you're good to go. Oh, you think it's over? No, no, no. Now the real fun begins. The game freezes and you get a black screen. There's nothing you can do. Task Manager won't save you. I had to restart my PC. I thought it might have something to do with the resolution of the game, so I tried the same thing I did in the previous Alone in the Dark. Didn't work. After digging some more, I found out that you need to download some DLL files. I know it might sound shady, and I won't blame you if you don't want to take the risk. Especially not for this game. So instead, just watch me play it. I did it so you don't have to. Now it finally works. Which is a great start. But you can probably see another problem. Yeah, the resolution. Why is it on 800 by 600 by default? If you try to change it, the game just changes it back. Not only that, sometimes the game just gets stuck in this cutscene. It's a gamble if it will even get to the main menu. I couldn't find any solution online, and I was thinking about giving up on the Steam version and maybe trying to emulate the Xbox 360 version, but I decided to try something random. I disabled the HDR option, and boom, it works. It's probably not random, and there's probably some tech nodes who know how this works, but I'm not a tech node, I'm just a regular node. But the point is, it works. No black screen, perfect resolution, and the game doesn't reset my fucking settings. That was fun. Let's talk about the game itself. So Alone in the Dark was created by Infogrames, which inspired Resident Evil, but then they made a reboot, and this time, they were the ones inspired by Resident Evil. And then some stuff happened and Infogrames became Atari. They were the publishers, but the company that actually developed the 2008 reboot is Eden Games, who previously made a lot of racing games. Oh, this makes so much sense. You'll understand why soon enough. This is also one of the only games that I know of that was developed for the 7th generation consoles and on the PS2 at the same time. It looks like a remake of the game, which makes sense. It was probably super impressive from a technical viewpoint. It was actually super impressive on all consoles, but the PS2 version doesn't have James McCaffrey. You know, the guy who voices Max Payne? Well, he used to voice Max Payne. Sadly, he passed away on December 17, 2023. He gave us such an amazing performance as Max Payne, and in every game he was a part of. From everything I've seen of him, he was a very talented person and a good friend, especially to Remedy Entertainment, who still worked with him even a few months prior to him passing away. He managed to deliver one final amazing performance in Alan Wake 2. He was a legend, and I'll always remember him. Rest in peace.
So thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Sorry to start the video on a somber note, but we obviously need to pay respect to James. Not only because of his amazing performances, but also because someone actually convinced him that it would be a good idea to be in this mess of a game. We need to respect him for his bravery. On paper, this game sounds like one of the best games ever, but in reality...
Ouch! Hey, aim it somewhere else. Hey! Do you find that funny? What the hell are you doing? Ouch!
Let's get into it.
Are you mad or what? Hey! Do you find that funny?
Before we get into the story, I need to explain the gameplay and some other stuff. Skip to this time if you don't care about it, and you just want to know what's going on in this game. The very first thing you'll notice are the Xbox controls. For some reason, that's just how it is, in the official Steam version. I think there's a patch that fixes it, but it didn't really bother me, so I left it like that. So what do you do in this game? You mainly fight zombie monsters and avoid environmental hazards. Sounds familiar, right? But how do you do that, you ask? Well, listen to this. You can shoot them and you can hit them. The only weapon you can carry is the pistol. That means there's no shotguns or rifles or anything like that. Which is weird. Every game in the series had multiple weapons. Even the first game had a pistol, a rifle, and a fucking crossbow. Though that was used more as a puzzle item. But you don't really need to use the pistol to shoot enemies, because the enemies in this game are pretty much invincible. Their only weakness is fire. They burn up real good. The only enemies that can be killed with the pistol are these bugs and bad things. So what's the point of having a pistol if you can't use it on the enemies? Well, you see, you need to be a little bit open-minded. Think outside of the box. You don't use the pistol to shoot enemies, you use the pistol to blow shit up. Luckily, it seems every person in this game throws away tons of spray cans and bottles of alcohol. Everything is an explosive. Alcohol, bug spray. Even your medical spray can be used as an explosive, which is also a Resident Evil reference. You throw an explosive item at the enemy's face, blow it up, and watch them burn. Everything you pick up can be stored in your inventory. It's kind of small, which is annoying at first, but as the game goes on, you realize that you don't really need much space to begin with. There's a light crafting system. You can combine items like bandages and alcohol to create a Molotov cocktail. You can use a spray and a lighter to get a makeshift flamethrower. And the coolest thing you can do is pour an explosive glass bottle, which I assume is alcohol. You can pour it on your gun, and now you have flaming bullets. I have no idea how that works, but at least now the pistol is actually useful. All of that is nice, but there are other ways to defend yourself against these beasts. You can pick up pretty much anything that isn't nailed down, kind of, and use it as a weapon, which is very cool and reminds me of Condemned, and anything that reminds me of Condemned's gameplay automatically gets a gold star. So that's the good part. The bad part is, like I said, this game sounds awesome on paper, but it doesn't have the best execution. You need to move the mouse, or the right stick on consoles, to move the weapons around. Depending on the angle of the weapon, you will perform different attacks from different directions, which is usually super awkward. Sometimes you just bounce off of walls, or you don't do the attack you wanted to do. The good thing is that when holding a weapon, you'll be able to block attacks. But as you can imagine, the jankiness of this game can lead to some game over screens, so it's a good idea this game has really quick load times. Basically no load times at all, instant respawn. Otherwise this game would be unbearable. Like with the pistol, you can't kill enemies with melee weapons, you need fire. Luckily there's always fire nearby when you need it.
Oh fuck.
So you pick up a flammable weapon and light it up. Then you just need to touch the enemy and voila. So basically, if you don't have fire, you're fucked. If you do have fire, it's like you turned on God mode. Let's talk about the fire a little more.
Fire! 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 Fire!
I have been waiting for you. I am fire. Listen to me. I am going to command you, and you will do exactly as I say.
Yes, fire! Tell me what to do, and I will obey. Yes.
This game probably has the best fire physics in the whole world. Look at this shit. There's fire everywhere. Almost everything is flammable. You can light up a chair and then use it as a torch. Who needs a flashlight when you have thick, burning wood? While writing the script for this video, I remembered that I watched a YouTube video about this game when it first came out, and I was shocked by the graphics. They looked so good to me back then. I literally thought I was looking at live action footage, and now, more than 15 years later, it still looks nice. Obviously, it doesn't look as realistic as it did when I was a kid, but it still looks pretty good. This is the first and probably the last time in the series where you can go into a first-person perspective. It's cool that you can do it, but you also have to do it in order to use the pistol and some other things. Yeah, you can't shoot while you're in third-person mode. Speaking of, this was also the first time where you could go into what we now know as the modern third-person perspective. But sometimes the game will have a fixed camera. I think this is the last big-budget AAA game to use a fixed camera perspective. I guess Silent Hill Downpour had some random sections with a fixed camera. Also the Heavy Rain and Until Dawn type of games.
Jason! Jason! Jason!
Once again, this series is taking inspiration from the games that first took inspiration from it. When you're in third-person mode, it changes to the RE4 style of camera. Every game started doing that after Resident Evil 4 came out, but Alone in the Dark decided to also copy how RE4 controlled the protagonist. You see, in most shooters, when you press left or right, you strafe left or right, respectively. When you press left or right in Alone in the Dark, you turn left or right, which is fucking weird. Why would you do that? It's so awkward to turn, especially during combat. It somehow worked in RE4, it worked well with the combat system of that game. It felt alright, and also this camera style was still new. But Alone in the Dark came out 3 years later. Since then, we had games like Gears of War, Uncharted, and basically every third-person shooter that came out at that time. They already showed us how to properly use this style of camera, and they perfected the art of strafing left and right. So it's weird that this game didn't follow their lead. Also, you can look over your shoulder, which also reminds me of Downpour and Shattered Memories. And also, you can see your legs and body when you're in first person, which is something I like. But yeah, speaking of Uncharted, this game has some platforming, which isn't great in third person, but it's fine in first person. But the main thing are these bombastic sections where you're climbing on ropes and everything's exploding around you. This game really likes those sections. It tries to be spooky, but it also tries to be an action Hollywood movie. Obviously, if you're looking for a spooky game, you don't really want to see stuff like this. But it works fine for the most part, and it can look cool. Occasionally, you need to use your platforming skills to deal with some physics puzzles. This game really likes its physics puzzles. Fortunately, I also like them, even though they aren't really challenging here. But they are inventive, especially for the time. Like here, you need to go down, but the fence is full of electricity because of this thing on the left. You need to use your body to move it so that it will stop electrifying the fence. You physically need to push it, and now you can proceed. And here, I moved the rope with the chair and it stopped electrifying the water. Simple, but kind of creative. I don't remember seeing something like this in other video games. Half-Life 2 came out 4 years prior, and it revolutionized games with its physics engine. And it really wanted to show it off, so it had lots of physics-based puzzles. Alone in the Dark took a page from Half-Life, so it also has a seesaw puzzle. There's a fire up here, and you can't get past it. You need to get this fire extinguisher to where the fire is in order to, well, extinguish it, but it's stuck on a lower floor, and you can't just carry it up. So you put it here, jump on this rope, and pull it up. Again, pretty simple, but creative. Those are only some of the puzzles though. There's another type of puzzle, which, well, I don't know if I can call it a puzzle. Sometimes we need to hotwire some electric panels in order to progress. This can be done by moving the mouse up, but you need to do it slowly or you will take damage. You can also switch between the wires in each hand. You can even hotwire cars, which is neat, but people usually leave their keys inside. I guess that's common in New York, but why would you even do that? Well, because you can drive in this game. What? You think it's weird that a survival horror game has lots of driving sections in semi-open world locations? I obviously don't see the issue. But yeah, it's weird. But it does make sense if you look at the company's history again. It might have been okay, and even good. If it didn't suck, you can clearly see what they were going for. Epic chase sequences, cool shots of you driving off cliffs. They wanted you to feel like you've barely survived something really dangerous and you narrowly escaped, but they also wanted you to look cool. And you know what? It does look cool. Unfortunately, controlling the car is as cool as taking a shit on the floor, which is not cool. It just smells. Look at this. Why is the car so bouncy? Controlling the car isn't too bad as long as you don't hit anything, because if you do, you will lose control of your entire being. Also, you can switch to first person while driving. You shouldn't do that, but it's nice to have the option. You can jump from the car and pretend like you're in an action chase scene. The car is actually way more interactable than you might think. Other than just driving, you can look around inside of the car. You can change seats, turn on the lights, turn on the radio, which doesn't work. You can search the car and find useful items. So it's a game that tries to combine survival horror style gameplay with limited inventory and limited resources, Uncharted style platforming and action set pieces, hack and slash style of gameplay, an arsonist's wet dream, physics puzzles, and the entire GTA franchise, minus the prostitute killing. Calling it overly ambitious would be an understatement.
Wow!
But the game can be very dynamic sometimes. Is that a ghost cart? Do you take cash or credit? Also, this is the only game that lets you reenact that scene from horror movies. You know, where the guy runs away from monsters or a dangerous person, finds a car, and barely manages to get it running, just in time to drive away. But enough stalling. Let's check out the damage, and by that I mean the story. We wake up to some noisy people, and one of them comes up to check on us. He tells us to look at him, but I decided to be a rebel and kept looking at my crotch. They didn't find it funny, so they fucking shot me. A bit of an exaggeration, I would say, so next time I do listen to them, and this is where we learn that we can blink. Yeah, you can actually blink in a video game. Realistic, I know. I thought you could only do that in SCP. Even though you learn about it early on, this mechanic will only be useful towards the end of the game. Anyway, we find out that these guys aren't exactly here to help us. They want that old man over there to tell them how to use some kind of mystical stone. They also decide that they don't need us. So one of them leads us to the roof so he can kill us there. I don't know why they can't just shoot us here. I mean, they do that when you refuse to look at them. They take the old man to an elevator and one of them takes us to the roof. But on the way, we see some cracks in the walls, and then this happens. Something grabs him and drags him away. We don't know what it is, but at least we're safe. For now, we walk around for a bit until we see our handsome reflection in a mirror.
Beautiful eyes.
And we realize that we don't know who we are. We have amnesia. No, not that kind of amnesia. The game then switches to third person, and then I almost break the game. Finally, I know what it's like to be a speedrunner. Speaking of skipping the game, this is where I discover a game mechanic that I've never seen in any other video game. You can literally skip parts of the game. It's like you're watching a TV show. You can skip ahead or rewind to parts of the game you've never even seen yet, which, like a lot of things in this game, is a cool idea. But why the fuck would you give players the option to just skip your game? Were the developers embarrassed by their own game? Also, every level starts with a recap of previous events. When games try to be like TV shows, it's mostly pretentious and unnecessary. But it can be useful if you haven't played for a while and need a refresher. It's good as long as you can skip it. Anyway, we jump on this elevator and see this old man again. The bad guys try to threaten him, but the cracks in the walls interrupt their conversation. The elevator falls and we manage to escape. We climb down a rope and meet a woman in trouble. We save her husband, or boyfriend, or pimp, or whoever this guy is. We do it by breaking this door. He could have done that himself, but he was too busy bitching and complaining.
That won't work. We need to figure another way to open it. Thank God you finally got your ass here. I'm hurt and I can't open this door. Now what's the deal with this building?
The fact that the door breaks exactly where you hit it is very impressive and dynamic. Too bad it's so awkward to do it. Soon after, we get a gun, and we can just shoot the lock, which is also cool. The cracks finally decide to attack us, and we are grabbed. Here we see for the first time that whatever this supernatural force is, it's weak to fire. For now, there's kind of a spooky vibe, right? It's creepy and you don't know what's going on. So obviously, the game turns into Uncharted. A man tries to help us, but he dies. Bye bye. Then a car flies at me from the bottom of the street. I'll be honest, I did not expect that. Eventually we meet this woman again, and oh, she's gone. Oh wait, she's back.
Who are you? What have you done to her?
She's one of my hosts now, as you once were. You, my most perfect puppet.
This is our first encounter with a possessed human. These guys and gals are strong, and they can mess you up pretty bad. But we have a caveman's greatest discovery on our side.
Fire him!
We carry on and meet up with... this woman.
Christ, it's about time! What the hell's going on? Not a cop, are you? Great! My rescuer is more fucked up than I am! Hey, that's enough! The only son of a bitch I see here...
Yeah, she... I don't like her. I don't think anyone who played this game likes her.
Come on, help me up there! Don't try to take advantage of the situation.
Don't flatter yourself.
What a Sigma male. Am I right, fellas? We find a flashlight and fight more zombie men. Look, I'm hitting on her.
Do you find that funny?
Don't worry, she deserves it. She's probably the least useful character in any game that I've ever played. not only in gameplay, but in the story too. Sometimes she acts nice, but she's mostly annoying. Eileen also had her bad moments in the previous game, but at least she did things. She was actually useful, like Edward, sometimes even more. We then get ambushed in a cutscene. It's one of the bad guys from the beginning. He also transformed. It seems like the presence inside of him knows us. For some reason, it cannot take over our body, like it does with everyone else. So it tries to negotiate.
Join me. No more pain. No more fear. You only have to die.
You're quite a negotiator.
But whatever spooky build-up the game tried to build, it instantly goes away when an enemy ragdolls from a single hit. At this point, you already know what to do. Grab a chair, light it on fire, and burn everyone. There's no point in using any other weapon. We find the old man, and he seems to know us well, but we don't remember him because of our amnesia.
You know him?
No, I don't think so. But then again,
He doesn't recognize me. I'm Theophile Paddington. I'm sorry, Edward. The ritual was so hard on your psyche. A large part of your memories have been sacrificed in the process.
Theophile, if you know me, who the hell am I?
No time to tell you everything.
He can't explain everything to us until we get out of here. And how do we get out of here? Driving! As I've explained before, driving can be super janky. But as long as you don't bump into anything, you should be fine.
We have to go back up there if we want to reach the exit. We have to jump over this! This is not driving! This is murder! They're coming! Floor it!
Oh my god, shut up! Eventually we crash the car and we get to the best mechanic in all of video game history. QuickTime events. Not just any normal QuickTime events. You have to mash the button a few times, then a second button appears, so now you need to mash it while at the same time holding the first button. Or at least that's what I think you're supposed to do. I died a few times and it was garbage. Luckily, I managed to skip the QuickTime event by standing next to the fire. Eventually we get out and see what's going on in the big city. This isn't Detroit, by the way. It's New York.
The epicenter. I have unleashed a wickedness that waited centuries for revenge. This is what I released you from, Edwin. What was trapped in the stone.
And now it wants it back. What's with this fucking stone?
The old man, Theo, basically tells us that this evil force wants the stone and that we need to go to Central Park.
What's with this fucking stone?
The ground is starting to go wild. Welcome to the most bullshit driving section in the game. Remember how I showed you that the developers only made racing games before this? You would think they would nail the driving part at least, but oh well. At least that explains why there's even driving in the first place. Every complaint I mentioned about the driving is on full display here. This part took me many tries. The game really didn't want me to succeed. Even the police fucked me up.
Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Watch out!
But eventually, I make it. I don't think this was as epic as the developers intended. We're finally back to the normal gameplay, but then Theo pulls out a gun, he gives us the stone, and then well...
I will not be your puppet! Do you hear me? Meet me at the museum, Edward. Room 943. No!
Damn, didn't expect that. Brave old man. He didn't do it because he's insane or suicidal. He did it to avoid being controlled by whatever makes people possessed. But he also did it so he could meet us at a museum.
Room 943.
How does that make sense? Well, I've beaten the game and even I don't know how it works. But you'll see, after all of that, we get introduced to another great mechanic. Bleeding!
Jesus, you're cut! Almost down to the bone!
I'll be alright.
You're probably in shock and can't feel it. The museum is 30 blocks away. If you want to reach it, we have to stop this bleeding. Do you hear me?
I'd rather bleed out than keep listening to you. We have 7 minutes until we bleed to death. In order to stop the bleeding, we have to find a bandage. Don't worry though, this mechanic isn't as important as it seems. There's usually lots of bandages lying around, but I found the best solution. Just do what Theo did. Reload your save, and you respawn with no bleeding. Don't try this at home, kids. But this technique doesn't work here. We have to find an ambulance. Okay, not this way. This way. But before that, we grab Theo's phone and get a call from Crowley. This ugly bastard. Remember him? I barely remember him. He threatens and taunts us. But that's not important. Look at this phone. Look at all these options. There's a contact list, and you can put in any number you want. You can even put it on buzzer and silent mode. Cool. There's also a map, which will be useful much later. Oh, and his number is 666. How fitting. The phone is really not important, because even with all these options, you're still limited to what the game wants you to do. For example, you can call any number, but no one will answer. I just wanted to mention it because it gives you so much options. But yeah, it's mostly pointless. What isn't pointless is Crowley's second call.
How's the memory, Mr. Carnby? Still lost in Wonderland?
Carnby?
Yes, that's your name, you poor fool. Edward Carnby.
We finally know what our name is. It's Edward Carnby, which is obvious because it's an Alone in the Dark game, but at the same time, not so obvious, because he doesn't really look like him.
Fuck!
Why do they change him in every game? And where's my mustache? Eventually we get to the ambulance, and we get something way more important than some bandages.
Full name, please?
Edward Carnby.
Memory coming back?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, have a seat and let me take a look while it searches.
The doctor heals us, and he also finds some information about us.
What do you got?
Must have pulled the wrong file.
Let me see. Professor Edward Carnby. Researcher. Paranormal investigator, huh? Solved the case of Jeremy Hartwood's suicide at Tercito's Manor in 1924. Disappeared under strange circumstances in 1938. What the fuck?
Never mind.
Here. Notable scars and marks. Large scar on the left side of the face.
I mean, you're like
100 years old. What the fuck?
It's confirmed. We're not just a reboot version of Edward, like in the last game. It's literally the same person. The original, red-haired Edward. That means that this game is not a reboot. It's a sequel.
It's an ocean.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Exactly. I don't know what happened between those games, but I want an explanation about his change in hair color. We can see a plot summary of the first 2 games. That's a really nice touch actually, and I'm glad I'm not the only one who wants to forget about the 3rd game. So this game isn't a reboot. It's canon. Also, he's like 100 years old. This stone somehow kept him alive all of this time, but it also gave him amnesia. So what do we do with this newfound information? Nothing, I guess. We have another awful driving section where we need to avoid these bats. But it doesn't matter because we're still grabbed by them in a scripted event, and they bring us to our first boss fight.
What the fuck?
Like most things in this game, we need to set the What the hell happened to his arm? Has he turned into Piccolo? We need to set their hive on fire. We need to blow it up. Here, have some mosquito spray. I like how you can see your wounds in cutscenes, but damn does it look ugly.
How'd you do this?
Not sure. It's like some sort of buried instinct. It's primal.
I don't think that blowing up bug sprays is a primal instinct.
There's something inside me, something dark and violent. I know I've done fucked up things in the past. I can feel it.
Yeah, it was kinda fucked up how you killed gangster zombies while dressed up as Santa Claus.
Hey, look on the bright side. You're in great shape for an old man.
Forgive me for not laughing. My dentures would fall out.
Hey, lighten up. At least we can trust each other.
Trust you? I don't know who you are, lady, and you didn't really do anything to earn my trust. Stop following me.
Okay. I know this is hard on you, but god damn it. Do you think all this is easy for me? We both feel alone right now, believe me.
Well, drop it.
And the award for most annoying characters goes to...
Well, drop it.
Edward is also tired of her bullshit.
Hey, I'm not a target. Ouch!
Even the enemies knew that she was annoying me, so they came to save me and took her away.
No.
We're getting close to the museum, but we need to deal with more cracks. Obviously, I want to avoid the horrible QuickTime events, so I burn it with my gun. Then I play with some wires, burn another one in the bathroom, check my health. What's up with your clothes, man? And then we meet a new enemy type. Whoa, is he throwing shurikens at me? They're tougher than the other zombies. They're stronger, but they're still weak to fire. After that we get to... we need to... save her. Why do you do this to me, game? Why are you trying to force me to pretend that I care about her? This is very romantic, trust me.
Are you mad or what?
Oh shit, I was trying to shoot that bug, sorry. Why did it sound like a cartoon punch? We need to deal with some bugs. Multiple times. Then we get ambushed by like 10 enemies. But you know the drill by now. Grab a chair and burn everyone. Or maybe it's more like, grab a chair and play tag. Tag, you're it. We then have our second boss fight.
For you, there will be no mercy.
I'm not asking for mercy. Now let's see how you beg for mercy.
Edward isn't scared, it's the max pain inside of him. This boss also uses shurikens. We need to shoot his weak spots in order to damage him. He will often use his special attack. When that happens, we need to hide behind the pillars. Well, at least until he breaks them. He looks tough, but after you throw a few explosives at him, he goes down.
Son of a bitch.
Edward, it wasn't safe there. Ah, fuck! What is that?
It's, a dead issue. Sorry you missed the fun.
I'm really glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm not. But we don't really have much choice now, do we?
Edward has that Max Payne cynicism. We need to get inside, but we can't use the scanner ourselves. So we find a nearby guard and chop his arm off. It's okay, he's dead. He doesn't need it. We use the hand and move forward. We then fight some more enemies. Why do I have to get stun-locked in every Alone in the Dark game? We kill them and finally get to our destination.
About fucking time. You know, you're rather pretty when you're quiet.
Enough with the jokes. Just open it, will you?
I don't think that was a joke. He's basically telling you to shut up. We get inside of the room and find Theo's belongings. We find a picture of when he was younger than Edward, from like 70 years ago. And suddenly, fire. And then, ghosts. Remember how you can blink and close your eyes? Well... Finally, this mechanic becomes useful. Theo somehow became a ghost and came back to this room. Whenever we close our eyes, we can see him. He points at different objects in the room, and we need to look to where he's pointing. After a few times, we piece the information together to get this message.
Down. Sarah, I want you to...
Sarah, I want you to knock him down. Thanks, Theo. Sounds like you're gonna have to kick my ass.
But I don't want to hurt you.
This was very cool and creepy, but come on, you didn't need to boom your head and come back as a ghost just to tell her to knock Edward out. You could have written a note. I guess he didn't have a pen and paper on him, so this was more convenient. We then have a dream where he basically tells us that everything is happening because of Lucifer. Yes, Satan is real, but more importantly, he tells us that he was the one who released him, somehow. He makes it sound easy. I don't know how you managed to do that, but if that's true, you're more of a fuck-up than the scientists in Doom. At least they needed advanced technology to do that, and it kind of happened by accident there.
The devil is real. I know. I built his cage.
So the devil is released, but not entirely. He wants to get the stone so that he can truly be free and rule humanity. Honestly, this whole plot point is unnecessary. Theo didn't really need to die to give us this information. He could have just told us while we were driving or something, but I guess the developers wanted an excuse to make this set piece. This whole section was cool and creative, like a lot of things in this game. I want to say that it was unnecessary in terms of the story, but we do need to come here to get this item. We can combine it with our flashlight to reveal a symbol. We need to use it on this wall, which causes it to open. At the end of the dream, Theo tells us to go to Central Park. we move on while Sarah stays behind. There's more physics puzzles. This time, we need to use a forklift. To use it, you need to press the home and end buttons on your keyboard, which is fucked up. Who the fuck uses these buttons? I barely even remember they exist. This looks familiar. Am I playing Shenmue? Shenmue? We finally get outside, and we have another friendly chat with Crowley.
Just speak one little phrase and I can pull you out of there.
No, cut the dramatic bullshit, Crowley. What do you want?
The stone, Carnby. Just tell me you'll give it to me. Or must I be content with watching you dissolve into that black film? You have 10 seconds.
Fuck off.
Here, let me give you something to think about.
I didn't realize the cutscene was over, and the black goo touched me. It's an instant death. This part was very annoying. You have to run around for like a minute until you're saved by a cutscene. Crowley saves us so he can take the stone.
Give it to me! Please!
But then a giant creature randomly crashes into the helicopter and we fall down. After the crash, we need to climb. How is it falling? Am I really that heavy that I'm able to pull a helicopter down?
Hey, Mr. Carnby! Are you okay?
I don't know why Crowley's helicopter pilot is worrying about me, but thanks. It was nice knowing you.
Hey, where the hell do you think you're going? Just get in here.
Get in here? Are you seriously telling me to get on a train that is clearly about to fall down? You probably think we get some NPC companions. But nope, they die. Something tells me this isn't safe. We then climb on its... if you think that's gross, wait until we get inside.
Hello there.
This reminds me of something.
Coochie, 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 coochie,
Oh,
coochie.
this is the thing that crashed into the helicopter. Cool. I probably said the word cool a lot throughout this video, but I won't say it anymore, because now we get to, by far, the worst part of this game. Suddenly, out of nowhere, she tells us that Lucifer has a tree, and it's sucking the life out of the earth. This sounds familiar. She also says that Edward needs to suck the life out of the tree, because somehow we can do that. What we need to do here is drive around, find these weird tentacles, these roots from Lucifer, and burn the shit out of them. When you're close to them, you get this annoying effect where it's like your screen is filled with water. At first, this doesn't seem so bad. You just drive, hope that the car physics don't fuck you up, fight some enemies, find a tentacle, and blow it up. Pretty standard stuff. Not a big deal. The best part about it is that if you die, the tentacles you destroyed will stay destroyed. You don't need to burn them again. So you think to yourself, oh, that's good, the game actually cares about me and doesn't want to waste my time. But then, when you're about to finish burning everything, the game is like,
oh, you're almost done. Here's 50 more tentacles. Have fun and be TW. Some of them are hidden away, and you have to burn them in a very specific way. Oh, and also if you die, you might lose the items in your inventory, including your explosive items. So now you can't burn the tentacles. So, you have to waste even more time by walking around and hoping you will find some explosives, then going back, not get killed, and burn. This shit sounds fun, right?
When you combine all of that with the overall jankiness of this game, it turns into such a slug. This whole section took at least half of my playthrough. Everything I did up until now, I did faster than this part. God damn. This is the definition of not fun. I even got GTA'd by a zombie, which was kinda funny actually, but you know what? I did it anyway. I burned Satan's hentai tentacles, and I moved on to the final area of the game. Well, almost final area. Now the game truly embraces its Uncharted inspirations. Not only are there multiple platforming sections, there are also ancient puzzles we need to solve in order to progress. This is probably the only part of the game where calling it Alone in the Dark actually makes sense. Throughout the game, we're not alone and it's not even dark. We either have someone with us or everything's on fire, or both. But now, we are alone, and it is mostly dark. We can't even turn our flashlight on. Satan won't allow it. Every puzzle has the same basic idea. Block the light source to make something in the environment move, which will allow you to progress. The first puzzle is just a warm-up. pick up this thing and use it to block the light. The door opens and we go to the next area. The next puzzle is a bit trickier. It requires precise timing. We need to move this box to cover the light, which makes parts of the wall stick out. One of the parts moves the box away from the light, which causes the wall to go back to normal, which in turn causes this platform to rise and take us to the exit. Neat! The next one is more intense. Fire gradually creeps behind us. Something that always used to help us is now working against us. This creates a time limit. If we don't solve the puzzle fast enough, we burn. Or at least that's how it seems. The fire doesn't seem to progress any further than this. Whether that's a bug or a feature, I'll let you decide. There are spikes coming out of the floor, which can kill us in one shot. In order to make them disappear, we need to use this plank to cover the correct light sources. When done correctly, the door opens and we can proceed. We then need to avoid some moving pillars while riding on this platform, and then we get crushed.
No! Wait! Wait!
What we need to do is move this thing here, grab a plank, go upstairs and burn the plank, burn the other planks, and wait for the platform to get us to the exit. Got it? Good. The last puzzle is the most intense. The ceiling is slowly coming down and it will crush us if we're not careful. We need to block the light sources to stop the ceiling from collapsing. And at the same time, we need to navigate through a dark maze with literal dead ends. This is the most trial and error sequence, but eventually we succeed. Now this next part was the last part of the game for me. In a little bit you will see why. There's a small thing at the top of this big thing, so I use a torch to light the planks on fire. I wait until they burn, I get the thing and I bring it here, because it's the only way to go. But what you actually need to do is grab a torch so you can read this.
Where the flame bends, the path extends.
And then the game crashed. Now, you see, the game does something really funny. A little prank, if you will. There are checkpoints in the game. Whenever you die, you restart from the last checkpoint, which is good. It's good, standard, normal stuff. But, if you quit the game, because you've got better things to do than make an Alone in the Dark video, or if the game crashes, then suddenly, the checkpoints don't work. When you come back and press continue, the game takes you all the way back to the beginning of the level. So I could not progress without doing all of this again. So I thought, hey, it's okay, this game has the option to skip to any part you want, right? They literally market this feature for some reason. So I thought, I can just skip ahead, right? Wrong. Turns out, you can skip to any part of the game except for the final part. You can only skip there if you burned at least 50 tentacles and completed 18 sequences in the game, which I'm pretty sure I did. But after I reloaded my save, I was back at the beginning of the level and the game tells me that I only did 16 sequences. At that point, I was done.
Why isn't it possible?
It's just not.
Why not, you stupid bastard?
Hey! Did you find that funny?
This wasn't just the straw that broke the camel's back, it broke the entire camel. Technically, I could go back and replay some random sections of the game and then skip ahead. But first of all, I don't really want to do that. It's not fun, and also, I was afraid that something else might fuck up, and my progress would get deleted again. I already asked this, but I'll ask again. Why the fuck would you give players the option to skip your game, if we're not supposed to skip it? Why give us the option to skip parts of the game, if it will prevent us from finishing the game? I'm sorry, I really tried. I tried finishing it, but at this point, fuck this game. There's only a couple of small gameplay sections, and a few cutscenes left. I'm not going to waste any more time and replay parts of this game just for that. So I'll just use this video and explain to you what's going on. Okay? Okay. Just before my game crashed, we were supposed to use this thing to break this wall and meet this guy, who apparently was just chilling here all of this time. His name is Hermes and he is like 300 years old. He tells Edward that he split the stone in two and he was sitting in that room for centuries. Edward then decides to introduce him to the wonders of the modern automobile.
I think it's time to introduce you to the wonders of the modern automobile. Follow me.
They find a car and Sarah tells them that they only have a few minutes to get to the museum. Also, Hermes discovers what a cell phone is. There's a last car sequence, which I'm sure is really epic, and eventually they get to their destination. But they are a little late. this is the most intense part in the whole game. You don't know what to do. There's nothing you can do. I'm kidding, just shoot him in the head. I really don't know what the point of this villain was. He was basically a filler character.
I've had enough of your bullshit. Magical stones, monsters, prophecies. None of that means shit when you've got a bullet in the head, does it, Crowley?
Exactly. You're totally right, Max Payne. We go to the secret room, and Hermes uses his body and shadow to open a new path. He explains that he built this temple long ago, and that this is Lucifer's door to our existence. Both he and Edward put their half of the stone into this device, which then combines and shoots a laser into the door, causing it to open. Now that seemed really stupid to me, because he just explained that it's the door to Lucifer, so wouldn't opening the door bring Lucifer out, who will then kill us all? But then he says that, nah man, opening the door will somehow restore balance to the universe. He tells us that resurrecting Lucifer, the literal devil, will bring balance to the universe?
Okay.
It seems like Lucifer tries to take over Edward's body, but then Sarah tries to comfort him, so then Lucifer says, nah man, and tries to take over her body instead. Hermes then tells Edward that he needs to choose. Either he shoots her, which will kill her and presumably kill the devil, or let her live and get the dumbest, most anticlimactic ending ever. Just watch.
Are you alright?
Do you love me?
Yes.
More than your memories?
They're the past.
Would you fight me? What will you do now? Kill me?
Fuck.
How does it feel to be so alone?
I'm used to it.
Oh, you're used to being alone? Little baby gonna cry?
Gonna cry?
Stop complaining and do something. But no, he just leaves and the game ends. I guess Hermes and the devil awkwardly stood next to each other for a while, until the devil killed him and went outside to take over the planet. Also, I hate it when games do this. I'm not talking about romance in gaming, but when it happens, it needs to be convincing. It needs to be believable. If you think about it, they only knew each other for like a few hours. Yet our boy Edward here, out of the blue, admits that he loves her.
Yes.
Stop being so desperate. Then he walks away casually, like he told his wife that he forgot to buy groceries, or that he missed his post office appointment. Thank you, comment from 2015. This is a shit ending. Garbage. But what happens if you do shoot her? We finally get to the most infamous part of this game. This is almost like watching The Room all over again.
You must be kidding, aren't you?
What was that animation? This is already way better than the other ending.
The last free act of man was murder.
So was his first free act.
You're not a man anymore. There it is! There it is!
I'm the light bringer! I'm the fucking universe!
Men will stand against you!
Did you think I'd come alone?
Oh wow, okay, this ending is way dumber than the first one, but at the same time it's way better, because at least it's funny. Basically, both endings suck. In both endings, Lucifer escapes to our reality. The only difference is whose body he takes over. The host will always be either Edward or Sarah. He probably doesn't want to take over Hermes, because he looks scarier than the devil himself. I don't even know what he's doing with him at the end. And after all of that, after all of our suffering, after all of my suffering playing this game, it just ends. We didn't achieve anything, everything we did was pointless, and the planet is fucked. Not really the best story out there. Remember when this game was about pirates? I heard people saying that it was inspired by the movie, but I don't know. I didn't watch it.
My mommy says that there's nothing to be afraid of in the dark.
You must be kidding, aren't you?
So yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. Everything you might have heard about it throughout the years is probably true. The main thing that people say about it is that it's a game with really good and cool ideas, but with terrible execution. And honestly, that sums it up perfectly. That's this game in a nutshell, which is a shame. Really, maybe if they delayed it for a year, or maybe if it came out today and was made with better technology, it might have been a good game. Hell, it might have been an amazing game. Every time I played it, I saw the potential. With some polish, a lot of polish, this could have been one of the best games of all time. I genuinely mean that. This could have been a game that was considered a classic, and people would have talked about it in a positive light until this day. But unfortunately, this is what we got, and it left a sour taste in my mouth. What started out as an okay-ish game with really creative and inventive moments ended in one of the worst endings I've ever experienced, both in the gameplay and the story. There's a version of this game for the PS3 called Alone in the Dark Inferno, which supposedly plays better and has some quality of life improvements. So that's nice, I guess. If you still haven't burned your PS3, give it a try. I really hope that the remake will turn this series around. I don't want it to burn and end up in this pathetic state. This was the series' legacy for so long, and that is sad. This franchise deserves better. The old games haven't aged well, but they made one of the biggest impacts in the gaming industry, specifically in the horror genre. The first remake didn't do anything special, but it was still enjoyable. This game tried to do a lot of things, and I can at least admire it for that. Despite everything I've heard and remembered about this game, I still wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt, but it just didn't stick the landing. Before I end this long video, let's make it even longer. Just a bit. Since I covered every game, I wanted to make a generic tier list to show you how these games compare to each other. The first game is a C tier. Like I said multiple times in this video, it's one of the most influential games ever made. I can see how this was spooky when it came out, and it might be a fun game if you like puzzles that make you want to bang your head against a wall, but it doesn't hold up today, especially the combat. The second game is also a C tier. Like the first game, it doesn't hold up, and the combat is somehow worse. But this game is so goofy that it's good. In what other game can you hit a gangster zombie with a frying pan while dressed up as Santa Claus? Exactly. Maybe this should be an S tier, S for Santa. Let's also include Jack in the Box, because why not? It's more like a demo than an actual game. It's really short, but for what it is, I'll give it a B. It's a cute little puzzle game where a little girl saves Santa Claus from a pirate's head that comes out of a box. I mean, what more do you need? Next one is Alone in the Dark 3. And D tier. It has some of the most frustrating parts in any game that I've played. The only reason it's not in F tier is because it has some good ideas and really good music. The New Nightmare. Solid B tier. Even though there's nothing really unique about it, it's my favorite game in the franchise. It mostly copied from Resident Evil, which is funny, because this franchise originally helped create Resident Evil. It's a solid survival horror title. It works well, it plays well, it can actually be fun and spooky, and more importantly, it's not frustrating to play. A game doesn't have to be unique to be good, it can just be good. Alone in the Dark, the reboot that is actually a sequel. D tier. Does it really surprise you? I would have, maybe, put it in C tier, but the last level is one of the shittiest things I ever experienced in my life. and I have diarrhea every day. I almost put it in F tier, but just like the third game, it has good ideas. It has a lot of good ideas, so I'll give it a D, but it's the low end of D tier. Maybe I'm too nice. Now if I were to rank them purely based on how scary they are, without using the tier list system, it would look something like this. The New Nightmare is my favorite. If you want a nice survival horror experience, go play it. But it's a shame. Every other game in the series is unique in some way. They are worth at least checking out just for that reason. But all of them have too many annoying design choices and frustrating elements that it's hard to recommend them. Check them out if you see Resident Evil as a child and you are really curious about how his dad looks. If you watched until now, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. This took me a really long time to make, but it was really interesting diving deep into this franchise. I love survival horror, so I had to check the franchise that basically created it. Resident Evil might be considered the father of survival horror, but this is the grandfather. For now, it's time to move on. I'll try to upload more frequently, but no promises. Like, comment, subscribe, tell me if I got something wrong, post a response video. Remember those? Anyway, see you later. Again, thanks for watching, and here's a cat video.
I've had enough of your bullshit. Magical stones, monsters, prophecies. None of that means shit when you've got a Lightbringer! I'm the fucking universe!